everybody out there in comic book land. My name is George Serrano, aka The Don, and if you're listening to this, you can only be here for one reason, and that's a brand new episode of the Major Issues Podcast, brought to you each and every week by ComicBookClique.com. And as always, I am never alone. Sir, if you could please introduce yourself.
Oh, it's me. It's John Escudero, aka Yogi. What the hell is up, everybody?
What is going on? You've had an all-star and a super week here on the Major Issues Podcast, and it's time for your three-peat, a fantastic week. Talking Fantastic Four. We are days away from the worldwide release of Fantastic Four First Steps. Somebody came out today with like the Rotten Tomatoes of the, what the reviewers have been saying and stuff. And there's been a lot of talk in general, right? Even with Superman about like, are the Rotten Tomatoes right? Or are fans' reviews, can they be trusted? Can reviewers' reviews be trusted? And then they had them all ranked from the other Fantastic Fours. And it's like 80, 50, 40, 9. So I think it might be easy to say that we are on the brink of the best Fantastic Four movie we got, even though that was a very low bar to begin with.
While we're talking about the reviews right now and the early ratings, it's gotten to a point where like all the reviews for these Marvel movies sound exactly the same, like exactly the same every time, and I'm just like, I can't even use them as a barometer anymore. Like, I genuinely just don't know. Like, the Fantastic Four has 88 on Rotten Tomatoes. Well, that's fucking great. And like, Thunderbolts did great too. And like that and like I ended up enjoying it greatly. But then it flopped. Like, and now everybody's like, oh, it's a failure. I'm like, it's not even fair, bro.
Right.
So now this Fantastic Four movie's out. Everybody's got the same reviews for it, and I'm still concerned. But
it's so weird. Like even with the Superman of it all, I have the same sentiment with the Fantastic Four. Like to me, it's gonna be more vibes than anything explicitly put on screen. Like I have to like feel like it's them, but simultaneously it has to then connect to this overarching narrative and world.
Yeah.
And if it's too busy doing that, we might not get anything. I don't think it's possible to get something that's absolutely not substantial. But also, again, what does it matter in the grand scheme of things if, from everybody's belief, this will all be gone by the end of the film, or at least at the beginning of Doomsday?
You know what my biggest concern is that this is their first film, and they're going like right into the event, like one book, like we got one book. They've never met Doctor Doom, and if they do meet him in this movie, I don't know, I haven't seen it yet. It won't be for that long. Like the story's not about him.
Yeah.
So like. With I don't know. As far as I've always known, as far as I've known, Doctor Doom and Reed Richards' dynamic is like really big deal to the Fantastic Four. Like to me, anyway. Like the runs that I've read.
Yeah.
It's so I'm like, damn, we don't have that. We're jumping right into a thing where Doom is gonna be like everybody's villain. I feel like there's something lost already.
Yes.
Like I'm just concerned. I'm like really concerned. And then Superman ended up being so good. I was like, fuck. Like that actually made it worse for this movie. Like I love the Fantastic Four so fucking much, Jordan. You know how much they mean to me.
Yes.
God damn it. I'm so concerned, but I'm almost certain it's gonna be a good movie. I think it was guaranteed to be the best Fantastic Four movie just because of how far we come in filmmaking and where the standard is. And like you can't fall that low. You cannot fall. It can never be that bad again. It was always gonna be the best Fantastic Four movie that ever existed. I'm still concerned, man.
It's funny because it's like with the Superman thing, right? The discourse is way different because people have an affinity for Man of Steel. It may have been polarizing, but polarizing means that some people absolutely loved it, right? And some people hated it. Whereas, like, so people are like, do not touch Superman. You know what I'm saying? We're not done with him in the Snyderverse. Do not touch him. We don't want any sort of changes. And with the Fantastic Four, even Pedro's not even shaving, and people are like, what? Someone try. Anyone pick up the swords. Someone.
It's got a reason. He's got a reason. A comic related reason.
Oh,
is it? Was like,
is it the wait? Which one are you talking about? Because I had heard something about he had shaved
I
his
heard it
mustache
today.
for
Yeah,
yeah,
Wonder
84.
Woman. And he thought he was he thought he looked fucked up. He was like, I'll never do that again. And you know what? I understand that.
Yeah,
I was like, I don't know if I would shave my beard off today. Like, I don't want to see. I don't want it. First of all, I don't want to risk it not coming back. Like, what if it
yeah.
doesn't come back? Like, I don't know.
He
But
was a
then
weird. I mean, I thought he was weirdly cast for Maxwell Lord to begin with, but he was at.
Sean Gunn is weird for Maxwell Lord too.
Yeah,
I don't like.
yeah,
I don't like this either.
yeah.
But Pedro was entirely different. You're right. It came off weird, and they were doing a whole commentary thing. I was
And
like,
then the whole thing about the like not letting them do the '60s voices and shit, that was weird as well too.
God damn it, bro.
This thing is just so inherently '60s, and so is the story that we're tackling today, which is folding right into our expectations for Fantastic Four First Steps, because we're going to be talking about the Coming of Galactus, a landmark 1966 story arc from Fantastic Four's issues 48 to 50, which were written and illustrated by Jack Kirby with dialogue by Stan Lee. Introduced Galactus and the Silver Surfer and is widely regarded as a high point of the Silver Age in the Atlantic. In 2018, called it the indisputable pinnacle of the era. Now,
That makes sense.
I mean, obviously, possibly the thing with the most gravitas of the year. I don't know what DC was. I know that Silver Age stuff. They're starting Flash up again. They're starting Green Lantern up with Hal, stuff like that. Batman's doing dances with Zebra Man and shit.
What year was this exactly?
66.
66?
Yeah.
Well, they would have already kicked off their whole Silver Age. I think they were just.
No, that's what I'm saying. Like we would have been a couple of years into.
Yeah.
But they were, their biggest thing at the time would have been the Crisis on Two Earths or whatever.
Yes, you're right. I what year is that? I own that, and I don't know the year off the top of my head. That's crazy.
I have
Crazy.
like Journey to Earth 2 or something like that.
Gardner Fox, Crisis on Earth 1 and 2. Fuck.
Yeah, JLA is 1960, and I was of the belief that the Fantastic Four were created to kind of combat the JLA. Initially, like Marvel wanted a super team of sorts.
Yeah.
And then they were like, well, Stan, right? They wanted a team, but I thought, like, what if they were a family?
That's a story he tells, but like we don't know. And I've
no,
never.
That's why I just love the story.
What did he say? He was playing golf with the guy that ran DC, and the guy was like, he said he was exaggerating, or he wasn't exaggerating, but he was bragging about how we got this super team, the Justice League, and they're killing it. We're on fire. And Stan's like, well, we need a team. Like, you know how
I'll show you, you son of a bitch.
And that's where the Fantastic Four came from. But the Fantastic Four is essentially when you say Marvel's first family, like that is the book that kicked off Marvel's Silver Age.
100%.
Like that is so important to Marvel lore. It's crazy that we had to wait until post.
I don't even know how do Marvel gauge their whole stuff, because I would figure that all this stuff is Golden Age, right? Because Timely would have predated this.
Golden Age would be Captain America, Namor, the Invaders.
So you would group Timely's timeline in the Marvel of it all.
That's Marvel's Golden Age. That early, the Invaders, 1940 stuff, and then the 60s is everybody's Silver Age, like because they all seem to kick off at the same time. Like
it's a comic book arms race.
Yeah,
and Stan and Jack are doing drinking all the coffee is what I'll say, and pumping out legendary hero year after year. Just boom, Thor, Spider-Man, X-Men, Fantastic Four, all like sequentially as we go through the 60s.
It's kind of nuts. We're talking about Jack Kirby and Stan Lee, and everybody knows like Jack Kirby, Steve Ditko don't get enough credit compared to what Stan Lee got, and like there's debate back and forth. Like with I don't think Stan Lee's particularly evil. Obviously, you could have given people credit more in certain places. He was also very vain. I'm also very vain. So I'm like, I don't know that I wouldn't have made the same mistakes he did, and people would have really took him like really malicious, and I would have been like, but I wasn't really thinking about it, bro. They asked me to come on this show. They didn't ask them. I don't know his address, but I also think it's crazy that like Gardner Fox, Carmine Infantino, and them the guys that were kicking off DC Silver Age don't get near. Not even close to even Jack Kirby or like Steve Ditko or Stan Lee. Like bro, they don't even exist.
Yeah.
The Silver Age must have kicked off by itself. Like Flash rebooted him,
Right.
Flash rebooted himself, Green Lantern rebooted himself. Every character in the Silver Age for DC did it by itself. Fuck Carmine and Infantino, fuck Gardner Fox. These guys don't exist. I know I'm forgetting people too, but I'm just saying,
No,
like,
no, I think you're 100% right, and I think that's one of the things that differentiated Marvel from DC was standing in front of it with the bullhorn, going, "Look at my
yeah,
comics, look at our books, look what we're doing over here," and like giving himself nicknames in the books, right? Like for every in the title credits or whatever presented by Stan Lee. All that showmanship really put these guys at the front and center, and with books like this, like once you start getting into like the Galactus of it, the Silver Surfer of it, the Kirby Crackle of it all, like this is just different. It's different, and one of the main
yeah,
things that I came away from this that I guess I didn't remember upon first read, because the movies have to be different, right? In the movies, the Fantastic Four seemingly win, but in this book, they kind of just survive, and they don't survive even by their own,
yeah.
like their own plan or anything like that. Like,
Complete fluke, complete fluke.
yeah, it's just a series of events that actually lead to their survival in this, and I like that. I like that
Yeah.
they couldn't just win. Like it wasn't just this idea of
I like
winning.
that they had something to say too. Like it was like, I know this story and I read it while doing like research, like trying to figure out what are all the important moments in Marvel history and like reading them and
Yeah,
telling myself I'm not just gonna be a wiki guy, I'm gonna read it. But in the
yeah,
process, I've got so many of these books that are just like buried and buried and buried and blended together in the history. Like I know what happened. I
yeah,
don't remember what they said.
yeah.
Like I
You don't
feel like I
remember
was
the
there.
cosmic straw that Galactus puts into the Earth
Yeah, right.
to
I
like
don't remember the
suck its
Earth being a
energy?
martini. That's an interesting event. But
Yeah,
it feels like almost I remember these events like if I was there. So like, oh shit, yeah, like I remember
that
Galactus
was gone.
came to Earth.
That was 5 years ago. Yeah.
Fuck, that was crazy. But yeah, reading this, I was surprised that they had something to say. It wasn't like I thought it was gonna be really surface level, but I was like,
Yes.
this is really complex, and this is kind of morally gray, and
Yeah.
this is really interesting. Like, damn, this would have really kicked ass in the '60s. Holy shit!
Yeah. Um,
So,
it, I got a little bit of background here. So in 1966, 5 years after they started Fantastic Four, Kirby and Lee set out to create a villain unlike any before, one with godlike power, free from the usual tropes of comic book evil. As Lee later explained, they wanted a being beyond good and evil, driven not by malice or conquest, but by an insatiable hunger. The idea became Galactus, a cosmic force who devours planets to survive. Inspired by biblical themes, Kirby envisioned Galactus as a mythical figure, as a Zeus like entity, paired with the Silver Surfer, his angelic herald, and symbolic fallen angel. These characters broke new grounds in comics, transcending traditional archetypes to become modern legends. Writer Mike Conroy noted that their creation exemplified Marvel's emerging universe building approach, a vast interconnected cosmos governed by eternal logic, where actions had consequences across all the titles. Galactus, introduced in Fantastic Four 48 through 50, embodied this cosmic scale, what fans would later call the Galactus trilogy, which we're covering. It concluded with the Silver Surfer defying his master to save Earth, cementing both characters as icons of the Silver Age. I wanted to ask you, as a big Fantastic Four fan, your view in general of Galactus, and were you surprised by his sort of portrayal here in this story?
uh, first of all, I have like the ultimate respect for the character and the creation of the character and what they were trying to achieve with it. Because I think ultimately, after all these years, even even when the Fantastic Four were being like buried and pushed down, and they were not being represented well in film, and so the public maybe wasn't thinking too highly of them. People fucking know Galactus. It's not a joke. Everybody knows Galactus.
Yeah,
Like, and it's a testament to what they were trying to achieve with that. Like it really has outlived them, and it doesn't feel like just a Fantastic Four villain either. Like you said, he eventually does come back, and they do stuff in Avengers, and everybody fights him, and that's why people kind of had this idea like, why is he going to be in a Fantastic Four movie and not an Avengers movie? He's an Avengers level threat,
yeah.
whatever that means. They're all Avengers
Oh,
level threats. Sometimes the
real quick,
Avengers are just not there.
that I just wanted to mention that really quick. the idea that this guy is like a humongous threat, and they deal with him like no one's really
Yeah,
around, right, to help. But you would
yeah,
think if this was published 10 years later, 20 years
yeah.
later, this is an event where multiple issues and multiple people from different places, Wakanda and Doctor Strange and all that kind of stuff coming in. They kind of handled it here, and I just thought that was pretty interesting given the scale of what Marvel would become now. The idea now, because that him being that large makes him undeniable in other if other characters are going to exist in that universe, right? They have to admit to the day that Galactus showed up because he was the biggest thing they had at the time.
I just love I love the way the Marvel universe works now where but I mean I love all these all shared lore like this. That's why I kind of hate that it got taken and turned into like this capitalism machine. Like now everything, every movie has a shared universe, every show has a shared universe. It kind of there were instances in the past where you could point out that were not superhero shared universes, like the All in the Family and fucking the Jeffersons or whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah.
the idea that every single character has a story that can be told that comes from fucking superheroes. Like that comes from this world. That's what I love about superheroes. Like there's stuff going on next door that I don't even know what's happening. Sometimes it crosses into the story I was already reading. And I'm like confused as fuck. Now I have to go find out what's going on over there. And that's never been a problem for me. That's fun. I'm like,
Yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
let's go. What the fuck is going on down the block over
Yeah,
here? This is
100%. Yeah.
crazy. Uh so Galactus now being this important part of Marvel lore, like this he has to exist, otherwise fucking universe will like collapse. He's like a kidney, like a heart, like an organ.
Yeah.
It's awesome. I love that it's evolved into that. That's what that is now. Because
It's
that
it's also
again,
it's also creating a actual touchstone on the timeline of the Marvel universe, right? Like
yeah,
people remember that as one of the first big, if not the first big event to come to the Marvel universe. Even though the definition of events and stuff like that have changed over the
yeah.
years, this was a one of the most monumental things to come to those comics.
It's like Cap coming out of the ice,
Yep.
Galactus coming to Earth. One of those. It's one of those key moments
Yeah.
in Marvel history. I love that. I love owning. I love. I would love to own the Galactus trilogy. I will definitely wait a few years after this movie comes out to try to buy it. But
What do you think of this idea of Galactus as a benevolent god, like Kirby saw, with this idea of like neither good nor either evil, just a like force?
and so that's I'm not sure. Like, was this the first time comics were hit with this kind of concept? I mean, if it
I
was,
think
that's
they
gotta
they're,
be.
they're making it seem like it wasn't at, and it was never at this scale. And I'm trying to like just scan my mind. It makes sense that you would make a villain as despicable as
Yeah,
possible, right? You make your heel as bad as possible to make the babyface want to fight them. There's no point in making a heel that kind of makes sense or is in the middle. His antagonistic nature is just the fact of how he has to survive, which is that he has
yeah.
to eat your planet. Sorry. You understand? But he's not
I
doing it
love
because
that.
he's like pointing it out. As somebody who's a fan of the franchise and the characters, what do you think of that interpretation?
Yeah, no, that's perfect. Because I mean, even though the concept has evolved over the years, that's still an element that doesn't change, like, or it doesn't always change. Usually comes back to it, even if they try to change it.
Yeah,
Usually comes back to the idea that he is a force that has to exist. He just does this. He's a god, but he just eats. I'm hungry. This is food. You are food. Why are you mad at
yeah.
me?
I'm
like,
not trying to take
uh,
over the world to rule it to
yeah,
enslave the world. You
I'm just
are,
hungry.
yeah,
And if
yep,
I don't eat you, what the fuck do I like? What do I eat?
yes.
Like, and they're like,
Imagine
oh,
how your cereal must feel about you. You know what I'm saying? Like that's
yeah,
how your
right.
cereal must feel about you. Like to you,
That's it.
the only reason it exists is to be eaten. And the
I-
fact that if they got together and started to beg for their lives, I don't think you'd really
I-
change your mind.
imagine being like 12 years old and hit with this for the first time.
Yeah.
I don't know what the fuck to do. Like, I don't
Yeah.
know what to think after this.
And more interesting, and we'll get to that when that character comes up, but his relationship with Silver Surfer. Like
Yeah.
that's what also kind of ties all this
That
together
was
because
very great. Like, I was
yeah,
like, wow, I love
initially
this.
it looked like slave master kind of, like it's almost presented that way. Like I am, I'm the errand boy coming to whatever, and then
Yeah.
you realize they spend a lot of time together. There's some loyalty built in there.
He was
There's
like,
he
You were my
believes.
brother, Anakin. I
Yes.
loved you.
And Surfer believed it. Surfer believed in the mission. I don't know if that's just something that happens over time, but like there's a relationship there. But I knew you would dig this. This is Fantastic Four writer Jonathan Hickman's idea of what Galactus is. Galactus isn't just a villain. He's a universal constant. The reason I find him fascinating is because, like entropy or death, he's inevitable. If there's a deeper cosmic truth in the Marvel universe, it's Galactus. Galactus at his best isn't about destruction, he's about scale. When he enters a story, it suddenly becomes about something much larger than the people in it.
That's perfect. Of course, and of course, it's goddamn Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah, we made him the life bringer, right?
Yeah, no, that was Al Ewing,
Oh yes,
the
that's
rip
right.
off
Yeah.
Jonathan Hickman.
Yeah,
Nah, I'm
yeah,
kidding.
no,
I'm
no,
kidding.
no.
I'm kidding. That's fucked up. I
We
love
love you,
Immortal
Al.
Hulk.
We love
I
you,
love
Al.
Immortal Hulk. I love Immortal Hulk. I'm sorry.
And Ultimates. Yeah.
Ultimate. I haven't read Ultimates. I know that it's good, and I want to read. I want to get into Al Ewing's like shared thing that he's doing across his books, right? But
Yeah.
I haven't had the time, and then people always make these jokes about how it feels like it wants to be like
Uh,
what Hickman did,
yeah, yeah,
and
yeah,
I was
yeah,
like, damn, that's kind of fucked up. That's really funny.
yeah.
But I don't believe it because I don't know for sure. Al Ewing, I'm sorry.
Yeah. No, I get it. And it's I think one of the oddest parts about this story, even though like we just said, it's the hallmark story not only for the Fantastic Four but for Marvel, but this idea that the story doesn't even start with this. It doesn't start like like all the events from the beginning to the end are to move the plot of the Silver Surfer stuff forward. We actually start with some Inhuman stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and do our recap. It's just 3 issues. We're gonna talk a little bit afterwards about the ramifications of the issues, and then I didn't take notes, but I did review Fantastic Four Annual number 6, the birth of Franklin Richards, the picture that you have behind you, the issue that I know that you coveted
I love it.
and snatched up, and we'll talk a little bit about that
Yeah,
and
we will talk about that
and
later.
what that
Yes,
means
sir.
with the Fantastic Four. But yeah, if you haven't read this 60-year-old story, and you have not seen it
Jeez.
portrayed in Rise of the Silver Surfer, in the 1994 cartoon, in the Hanna-Barbera cartoon, in the multiple different tellings of the Marvel Universe that is happening, and you still don't want to know what happens, then come back, read that story, come back later. But like I said, our story does not begin on a clean slate, but it starts off with the ending of the previous arc, which was the introduction of the Inhuman royal family. It had some members of the Inhumans sort of trickling in, but this was like the Maximus and all that stuff. So
Yeah.
they're dealing with that sort of betrayal here. Maximus fires off his Atomo gun, or Atmo gun, while the
Atmo gun.
Atmo gun. While the intense vibrations from the weapons don't affect his fellow Inhumans, they can be devastating to ordinary humans. That's what it says in the bubble that's right there by his gun. Jack and Stan can get a bit expository in some of these early issues, a little bit.
It's something that I always like forgive entirely because I have to remember like the audience.
Yeah,
They don't trust the
100%.
kids. They don't trust the kids for nothing.
Yeah.
They don't trust the kids for nothing. As a matter of fact, this might be blasphemous, but at a certain point, I just skim read the exposition boxes.
Same.
I'm staying with the dialogue. Like I can see what's going on, and if it does need explanation,
Yeah.
I'll look deeper into the exposition box because I'm reading, and sometimes it's good. Like I will never ignore it.
Yes.
I will make sure to look at it. If Stan Lee is going off on one of his soliloquies, I'll read because I like those. I think those are fun. Like he's saying something. But sometimes they'll be like, and the sky turns red while the sky is red. Like I know that, Stan.
Yeah.
Like so, I'm fine. You know what I'm saying? I don't got a problem with it. It was written for children. But it definitely gets to a point where Reed is describing everything that's happening to him as it happens, and now I'm being dragged. Like I know
there's very little thought bubble. It's all speech. Like it's very. I feel like it's more speech than thought bubbles. And even in the thought bubbles, they don't speak like how they would to themselves. They speak how they would to someone else, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, and oh my gosh, and who would have thought that I would find myself in a situation like this? It's like, all right, bro.
I mean, and it goes without saying almost how how beautiful everything is.
Oh yeah, 100%. That's another thing. Jack Kirby's art fills me with a warmth because I did some research after the fact, but initially I was just getting Hanna-Barbera vibes from it,
Yeah,
and then I find out this dude worked for Hanna-Barbera and helped
yeah,
make the
yeah, yeah,
Hanna-Barbera
yep,
cartoon
yep, yep.
for this comic and other Hanna-Barbera stuff. And I mean, whether I have to assume they got the style from him. You understand? For like, I think of like all those like square boxy, very flat, all good features, but very flat faced comic book characters. Very, very reminiscent of that style.
It's one of those things. It's one of those things where it's like we were born 30 years after it. So
Hmm.
like it's something we've always seen. So like when you see it now, it's almost you fall into a routine. But when you think about it for a second, it's like, wait, no, this is like he created this shit. This
Yeah,
would have been like radical. You've never seen this shit in your life when
yeah.
this came out. First of all, and that's just that is where you can tell yourself about like the designs, like the very stern characters, the face, the facial features. Sometimes but the Jack Kirby's fucking machinery and space and
Oh man.
backgrounds and holy shit, like Jesus, you know it's beautiful, like you always know it's beautiful, but then it's fucking gorgeous. Jesus, experience it in real time
I
now.
I don't know why my mind went here, but immediately when you're talking about like, oh, this been used, immediately went to like Johnny Quest. Like that's where my mind went to like those kind of explorers and stuff like that. And I'm like, no, come on, that's Hanna Barbera. That's like way before Fantastic Four. But no, apparently, fucking all of that is in 1964, and I want to say the Fantastic
Yeah.
Four is 1962 or
Yep.
even 61. I gotta double check that. But yeah,
And
laying the groundwork.
1963, Fantastic Four, 63. Yeah.
Is Spider-Man 62?
You got a good point. I know Fantastic Four 63. Why do I know that? I don't know where I know that, but it's
Yeah, I
that,
feel like they
that,
had a relationship, a big anniversary not too long ago.
but yeah, this
Yeah,
this
they are 1961.
61.
Yeah, I
Who the
remember them
fuck
being
is 63?
maybe the
Is
X-Men because
somebody's
Spidey
what?
62. That's what I'm saying. Every year it's like Fantastic
God
Four
damn, brother, they
61.
were on fire. Like
Yeah,
that would never happen today.
I like to be this iconic, like bonkers.
No, no way,
Spider-Man,
no way.
Spider-Man is 62.
That's crazy. Nobody
Uh,
is 63. I made that up.
did you?
No,
X-Men,
no,
no,
what?
X-Men is 63.
Okay.
X-Men is 63. Yeah. Yeah, so they have been rocking with the Fantastic Four for a full year before they introduced Spider-Man.
Jesus.
They're big. They're most. That's why it's kind of crazy to me. And I know people are watching this for the first time, maybe even reading the story for the first time. You lived in an era, odds are, where characters like the X-Men and Spider-Man eclipsed the Fantastic Four, even though they came out
Yeah.
after the fact. That whole rights deal messed up people's kind of understanding of those characters all kind of being birthed at the same time. That's why this whole like going to a whole nother universe to talk about Fantastic Four for this film feels weird because they should have been in a perfect world they would have been what started all this,
Yeah.
and you can't
Yeah.
kind of go back in time now that we've already created this entire cinematic universe for 10 years, so we have to go to a whole nother universe to tell their story right.
And I appreciate that that was on their minds, and that's why they put them in another universe. They were like, we really wanted them to be what they were, but we couldn't legally.
We
So
could, yeah, we literally could not.
we're gonna try now. I swear. It's like I swear to
I
you.
still would have dug the whole like they were a space team that disappeared in a
And came back
yeah
40 years
time
later type
displaced,
thing.
and yeah they're
I'm
like
pretty sure that was on the table at one point. Considering how it turned out, like there's no way that wasn't on the table. That's too coincidental that
yeah,
it ended up still being the '60s.
it
But
might only be that way for the Doom or the
yeah,
whatever Doom
yeah.
situation they're gonna try us up there, but let's get past this inhuman nonsense. The ground beneath the Great
Hey,
Refuge. I got a lot of Inhumans in my Galactus right now. Is what I'm trying to say. I'm not saying I don't like the Inhumans
they
or
were being
Galactus.
slick. They were using their page count. Okay,
Yes, they
they were
were.
like, "I'm gonna finish this fucking story, and I don't care if it fucking falls 5 pages into the next issue."
Do you like the Inhumans with the Fantastic Four?
Yeah, I mean that's
Yeah.
where they belong to me. I mean that's just that some things are. That's why I feel funny. I never feel right when people talk shit about the Inhumans. But I always know why. But I'm like, And I fucking hate you, like Disney, what you
Yeah,
fucking did to them. They're so important. Like they're so important to me. Like
yeah,
and as far as like they're supposed to be important to the Marvel universe. Like what the fuck? What do
yeah.
we do?
I mean, at one point they were entrusted to bring in an entire new fucking age when they decided mutants were not cool anymore.
We are lucky though in that with an eventual reboot, they will revisit that. There's no way they don't revisit that concept and put them back with the Fantastic Four, and
Yeah,
that just gotta
Atlan and all
happen.
that stuff.
Yeah, yeah. Come on, it's
Uh,
too big. It's too
uh,
Jack Kirby.
so Maximus laughs maniacally, already picturing the mass destruction his invention could cause. But like most of Maximus' schemes, this one falls flat. Aside from some heavy tremors, the outside world is left untouched. All that for nothing.
That
All
was
that for nothing.
wild, right?
Yeah,
What was that about? It just didn't work.
it just didn't work.
It just
As
didn't work.
as Gorgon and Karnak rush in to stop him, Maximus slips past and makes a beeline for the Atmo gun. My mouth. In a last ditch move, it doesn't want to say Atmo. In a last ditch move, he reverses the polarity, creating a spreading field of negative energy that begins to envelop the Great Refuge in a sort of energy bubble. Reed realizes the gravity of the situation. There's no stopping a full-blown negative zone. He's like, not again. he's like, he's gonna fucking do the negative zone. He, Sue, and Ben rush to escape the city, but Johnny hesitates. He refuses to leave without Crystal. Crystal wants to stay too. That's his little boo. But her family pulls her back.
My
Uh,
baddie, my
yeah.
baddie. No.
Ben grabs Johnny at the last second, carrying him out just before the energy field seals the city off completely. Heartbroken, Johnny believes he'll never see Crystal again. The team's like, yeah, don't worry about it, bro. Like,
They really were like,
really were like,
yo,
yeah, what are you like?
you'll be all right. They
Yeah,
keep calling him boy.
yeah.
You'll be all right, boy. I was like,
No,
whoa.
the issue with the issue with the Franklin birth, when he's like you need to go to the hospital, Reed. He's like, there's no time to talk, boy. We gotta your sister's dying. He's like,
There
what?
was There's no
He's
time
like,
for
I didn't
talk.
talk. Yeah, he called
I
him a
just walked
boy.
in here to see what's going on.
Yeah.
Why are you talking to me like this? No, but I think there was a cool moment. There was a cool moment where Ben is like, he feels bad. Like he does feel bad. Like there is emotional gravity. He's like, damn, I don't want to do this. Oh, look
Yeah.
at the kid. He's gonna blame me for the rest of his life. This is horrible. And Reed is just like,
I was about to
you
say
did the right thing. Johnny will thank you for this someday. Don't
Ben,
fucking worry about it.
Ben is the only one that could kind of get away. Like would feel that way and would go back. Like I feel
Yeah.
like the other people things to worry about.
Reed is a real dick early
Yeah.
on. Like this Stanley Jack Kirby Reed Richards is a
Very, very, yeah.
He is straight fucking forward, and it's horrible.
I think
it's hilarious though.
It
It's
almost
funny to me.
allows them to play into this whole maker
Yeah.
idea, right? Like his coldness to some of this stuff. So meanwhile, far out in space, a shining figure cuts across the stars and on a metallic surfboard. The
Just beautiful.
Silver Surfer.
Just
As he
it's crazy because we finished the Inhuman story. We're in this desert, and like it's in the bottom of the same page. It's not even a different page.
Yeah.
It's on the bottom of the same page. This is them desperately convincing you that this is a single story. But
yeah, and you're like, this
shift.
is banger after banger. You're like, they just did a whole Inhuman story, and now you're about to get all of this.
But there was such an immediate shift in like the artwork. Like space is gorgeous. Holy shit! This is beautiful. Immediately.
And like, it really can't be hammered home the technology that they had at the time to make art, to then make the art that they'd made. Those Kirby crackles, that space stuff, some of that. I mean, you talk about the Galactus, like his suit, his ship, the cosmic straw or whatever he was using. Not only is it like intricate and like it's familiar and it's alien, it's beautiful, but it's also cold and indifferent. And then he takes a lot of that sort of vibe and would use it in his fourth world, to create more alien. Like I think of Orion's little bike thing. His
every machine they have is like tubes and twisty and it's popping with energy.
But we're only getting the beginning of it, and it already makes you feel alien. I like that, classic trope. If you want to make someone feel like a big deal, like if you want a new big bad, feel like a big deal, have an old big bad react to them. And so they have the scrolls here going, oh shit, the Silver Surfer's coming. The scrolls who had menaced the Fantastic Four before, some of them are cows now because of it. But they see the Silver Surfer, and we don't know how to feel, but they're like, they panic because wherever the Silver Surfer goes, his master Galactus not far behind. Desperate, they scramble to hide their homeworld from his senses. Now, I was not this part of the comic I completely forgot about or did not know. But this idea that they get back to New York and the Fantastic Four return just in time to see the entire skyline look like it's on fire.
What? Then everybody blames Johnny immediately.
They're like, he did it. He must have set the whole sky on fire. So the Human Torch flies off to investigate, but the sudden chaos causes panicked citizens to blame him for the fiery skies. The team regroups at the Baxter Building, where Reed locks himself in the lab to study the phenomena. This is when Sue gives him shit, right?
Well, see this okay. When you see this out of context, it's like, man, that's really fucked up. In the context, it's like, Sue, get the fuck out the way, bro. What are you talking about? Like, did you just see what happened? Your brother almost died, Sue. Get over yourself. like you gotta see. First, there was a conversation about how the citizens of the Marvel Universe are actual garbage, and people brought up the time DC and Marvel crossed over, and Superman looked across like Earth, and he was like, "This place is horrible. Like, this is a horrible place. If these people are the heroes, then they're complete failures."
Yeah,
and it's the way they treat mutants. It's this. Look at the way they treated Johnny and me with no questions.
In seconds,
they were gonna kill him. The Fantastic Four go out and they find him. Johnny, first of all, he went without asking. First, he should be said. He went off. They told him, Johnny, stay. And he went anyway. And so they had to go out and find him. And when they found him, he wasn't getting his ass beat. He was actually beating up all the civilians with no flame on. He was just whipping all their asses. Yes. And so they had to save the civilians from Johnny.
And I'm about to say, but there's a long-standing I mean, Johnny gets hate crimed in Civil War. There's a long-standing history between Johnny Storm and the fucking people of Manhattan, apparently. They all got beef.
There's also, I was going to say, a great thing moment before they go back to the,
is this the flick?
Go back to the building. Yeah, the fucking wise guy. He's like, I don't believe this thing is as tough as he looks anyway.
He just let him hit him. Let him hit him. Go ahead.
This guy really is tough though. I can't give him back because he punched him once. He broke his hand, and he was like, "All right, well, I'm going for the gut now."
He was drunk. Is what it was. That's what it was. He was just some drunk dude on the street.
He does get flicked halfway across the fucking
and knocked out. Completely knocked out. He might be dead. We're not 100% sure. No one stood with him. But yeah, this would be like if we had like some weird cataclysmic like space thing going on in the sky that we can see from Earth, and like everyone ran to Neil deGrasse Tyson. Like everyone's willing to read. Like, yo, what's going on? You're supposed to know.
Explain this. The sky. And I know Reed's got the answers.
As they're figuring out the fire, it disappears and it gets replaced by space debris. It's floating around in the air. Doesn't make anything better. And suddenly we realize that we're not the only ones watching the Fantastic Four. Our old boy Uatu,
fat watcher.
I'm about to say, thick Uatu is in this issue.
That motherfucker got 2 chins. Oh shit! Why? Because he sits down watching all day. That's the idea. No exercise.
Right when he goes to stand up and interfere, he's like, "Yeah, I probably shouldn't." So it's just
God, they got this. Get me a sandwich. We talked about that Sue Reed moment, but we didn't really give it detail to people that are listening, I guess, that haven't read it or maybe are reading it now.
Yeah.
We go through all this shit with Johnny Storm, like we mentioned, and they go back and read immediately. He's like, I got to get to work. The sky was on fire. I got to find out why the sky was on fire. And she's like, I want attention. Yeah. I was like, what is going on right now, Susan? Yeah. Like, why is she being real like this?
This is real big. Where is my super suit energy? Like, this is like, woman, the skies are on fire, woman.
He's like, Rita's pissed off though.
Oh, my favorite part is you talking about when he hung up. Like on a space call, and he's like, click.
she's like, well, I've got no intention of being completely ignored while he juggles test tubes for the rest of the night. Reed, look at you. You haven't even shaved and you must be starved. What? He said, for the love of Pete, girl, is that what you disturbed me for?
Yeah,
And turn the
click,
shit off.
click. And I don't know, man. Bearded Reed looks unhinged. I like worn out, fucking stressed out, fucking Reed. He makes
She's
it.
not gonna die. I'm scared.
I don't have any answers. They keep calling me for answers. The phone hasn't stopped ringing. I don't know what's going on. And now the Watcher's here. Um, the Watcher admits the celestial disturbance was his doing. Um, he's trying to cloak Earth from the Silver Surfer's detection. But this feels like the lead thing. Like, if you're trying to hide stuff from Superman, he should just look for the stuff he can't see, and vice versa. It's like if you're trying to hide Earth, I feel like flames going all around it kind of is like a flashlight. Like it's gonna make it hot, literally.
He just covered it with rocks.
Yeah,
It's like that'll do it.
I did the best I can.
It doesn't even stop. The
No.
Silver Surfer doesn't even like stop and look at it.
Yeah.
He just flew right.
Oh,
through
that's
that
odd.
shit.
The Watcher warns them that Surfer is a scout and his master is Galactus, a cosmic entity who feeds on entire worlds, leaving them barren and lifeless. Surfer soon uncovers Earth beneath the debris and lands on the roof of the Baxter building. He sends out a powerful cosmic signal. Team races to stop him, and the thing knocks Surfer off the roof with a brutal charge.
He knocked the shit out of him.
He didn't even wait. That's what my favorite part about all this. He's been about it all issue, to be honest.
He doesn't play too, and they never fail to establish him as just as strong. They're like the Silver Surfer is super powerful. Galactus is God. I don't want to hear nothing, bud.
And unlike what people like further depictions will have, he's never really drawn to be that much larger than he's like drawn like a big muscular man. Yeah. He's not 8 feet tall, 500 pounds. I mean, he might be 500. You get what I'm saying?
Crumb bum.
Yeah, yeah. Like them calling people corny and all kinds of cornballs and shit like that. Like, yeah, he's a New Yorker talking that shit. High above Manhattan, because the damage is already done. Sky splits open as Galactus's massive world ship, the Ta-2. You know anything about this?
Yeah, that's his.
What was the Ta-1?
Well, Galactus is. I'm sure this wasn't his origin at the time, but as it exists now,
Galen?
Galactus was Galen. He came from the previous version of the universe. It had its heat death, as all things eventually do, and he carried over into its rebirth, as the newest being. But he didn't just kind of exist there. He sat in this ship for hundreds of millions of years and formed into Galactus. So this is still, he took the remains of that ship, which I imagine would be the Tau 1, and reformed it into the Tau 2. And so I wanted to also point out the page where we introduced this. What a shift. We go from Jack Kirby art to like this, it had to be like realistic photographs of like engines and reimagined like spaceships, and
they do a little bit when they go to the negative zone with this effect. It's a very weird, like,
I love it
because the pictures, like you said again, are realistic, but then you just have these drawings almost put on top of it. It makes it look alien. It makes it seem out of this world. Which
the city's real. I'm trying to imagine like how they did the effect, because it's like photographs of the of the city skyline, and like planes,
and they still have the Bandai dots, the comic book dots on
it's just incredible. Like, god damn, I love comic books.
What do you think of Christmas Galactus?
Christmas Galactus. I forgot about this. I completely forgot about Red and Green Galactus, and then it changes the next.
This kind of
no
does 100%.
explanation.
This was like, if you remember, like Shawn Michaels and you watch the Elimination Chamber, he comes out in those brown tights. He comes out in those brown tights, and you're like, I don't remember this.
His suit wasn't ready.
You've seen like the different versions. It's got to be the purple and blue, right? Like that's just.
Did you ever find a reason why? I'm sure that's got to exist somewhere. Like, was it miscolored?
Hmm.
somebody made a mistake because it literally goes to purple and and we don't see this again.
I feel like a lot of the alien stuff was green, but we were already talking about that other stuff, right? The idea that a lot of the villains in general in Marvel are green.
The purple and green. This is green and red. It's Christmas Galactus. He looks great though. I mean, it's a great design. It's a great cat. It looks much more Jack Kirby, to tell you the truth, than the purple. The, the all purple Galactus doesn't hit like a Jack Kirby thing. He loves color breaks. You know, like he
Yeah.
loves to break the color. All purple seems like something that maybe came after, but because even in the next issue they go to purple, but he's not like completely purple. It's just a helmet.
Everything I'm looking at is looking as just saying like limitations at the time, but I'm not even sure if
Oh,
that's the
okay.
case. It could have
Because
been four-way color
he's
system stuff.
limitations at the time that they fixed for the next issue before
Yeah.
it went to press.
Yeah,
Like,
and obviously like the blue that would have been there is the same blue that the Watcher's using. Oh,
yeah.
looking like Paul Heyman in this issue. But I love how the next issue opens up and how stressed Reed is. Look at that face on Reed Richards. The next issue, I've never, I've never seen him so fucking
Help! I'm
stressed.
not sure if you can if it's gonna fucking show. There it
Yeah,
is.
look at that. That is, yeah, that is a stressed man.
Help! Help! Look at him compared to how he looks
Yeah,
normally.
look at that
Right next
right
to him,
there. Yeah.
that's fucking great.
With the way you had it for a second, with how it was floating, it looked like Sue, Manic Reed, and the baby were together. Just looks strange. Um, so what's your relationship, or what do you, how do you feel about the character, the Silver Surfer?
I like the Silver Surfer. When I was younger, and this is probably why I have so much like reverence for them, respect for these characters, because I didn't know shit about comics. I was like watching superheroes. All of them were like generic characters to me. I didn't know nobody. They were all
Mm.
like spin-offs of Superman or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fucking the Silver Surfer had a show,
He
and
did.
it didn't last long. But I didn't know that at the time. Like I am sure, like I'm sure they replayed it with reruns and shit because I used to watch it. I want to
All
say
girls on it.
after,
Charlotte Ball's on it.
yeah,
In it on it.
it's a really faithful retelling of Silver Surfer and Galactus' story, and it's so Jack Kirby esque, and it's so beautiful. It looks like Jack Kirby's art come to life, and it cost so much that they canceled that shit after 13 episodes.
That's funny.
And so I watched that, and I've always loved the Silver Surfer. Fuck me, the Silver Surfer
Yes.
because of that show. And
Okay.
then and then I got older and I liked the Fantastic Four series to the 1994. That's fun. It's a fun show.
For
Corny.
me, I mean, obviously we saw the Silver Surfer in, in iterations of stuff. Wasn't he even? Isn't he in like Ultimate Alliance or one of those?
He's in video games for
Yeah,
sure.
he's been
I
in
can't
video
remember which
games.
ones right now. Yeah.
But when I got older, people spoke about Silver Surfer how they speak about Swamp Thing, and I didn't like kind of understand like this idea that it's more philosophical. This idea that it's more about what he means than him just being kind of a punchy, kicky, a power cosmic sort of entity. I read Silver Surfer Requiem. That thing
Yeah.
kind of wrecked me. Like that story was freaking like gorgeous. It was beautiful.
That's some of the
And
best Silver Surfer stories there is.
yeah, and with even diving into this story, we only have 2 issues left. This monumental story. How much of what that character was in those deeper iterations is born here. His motivations and all that stuff is born here, and apparently, even at the time, like I just got banned for sharing that whole thing, but there was a time where Paul McCartney wanted to do a space opera just based on the Silver Surfer, and I want to say I gotta look this up because this might even be blasphemous if I get this wrong, but I want to say that if Pink Floyd had it their way, the Dark Side of the Moon was supposed to be the Silver Surfer going through the pyramid, but
Was it? No way.
because of copyright, after I made that completely fucking up,
You just made that
or
up.
or yeah, and so like he had this effect, even though he was kind of a side character. People from the get go knew
Yeah.
that he had like this gravitas. What do you think of that whole idea?
It's
Like, what do you think of his story here?
it's such a it's like it seems like a foreign concept, but it's strangely relatable. Or maybe something that somebody would want, like this melancholy, this fucking this lonely surfer in space who just longs for comfort, or maybe doesn't. There's also lots of things you can infer and add to that. Your own your own personal reasons for wanting to be out in space on a surfboard with nobody to bother you. It just seems really cool. Some people want to escape.
Yeah.
I get it. I would love to be. And then it's the 60s too, so you figure you smoke up your 1960s marijuana, whatever that must have been like. Probably blew their fucking minds. And they're just sitting there like, man, I would love to go to space on a surfboard. That's fucking awesome. I love this book.
There's also like this idea of a man who has been doing his job that he knows doesn't like. I'm trying to circle around why he continues to help. Obviously, it's for the survival of his own planet. It's for the survival of himself. But at some point, he's drinking the Kool Aid. Is that just like Stockholm syndrome?
I don't think
Like,
he
is
was
that
thinking about it. It wasn't it
no?
wasn't like it was it just wasn't something he thought about. It was something that he didn't think mattered. I think it's implied that Galactus either didn't notice or hasn't ever noticed the people on the planets if they were there. Like he's like, I'd never even thought about if people live there. Like, do they live there? Don't they live there? It's this fucking goof that went down there and fell and started talking and shit. Like they weren't even. It was like ants. Do you think about what the ants think when you step over them? Type of deal. Like I don't think about ants. I'm just walking here.
Yeah.
It's like, is he a genocidal fucking maniac? Well, no, I didn't
I
know that you cared.
I
You
also
know?
I also forget that there's a bit of I'm using this term because it's more of a modern term and it's not even a real word, but there was a bit of a Dr. Manhattanization of this character, right? Where he goes from being a normal person to being a person with the power cosmic. And what does a planet mean in the grand scheme of when you have that much
Yeah.
power, can see so much, can do so much, and you're literally just you're surfing through the galaxy. All these guys are little specks until you get up on them, and by that time it's over. But we already came up on you. They no room here.
Pretty much. He only ever thinks in the macro scale, never micro. And
and
people
and I just love that all of us assholes on Earth finally get people to like we can just talk to people and they kind of like these guys are so
stories.
simple.
These people have stories.
So apparently, there was a Rolling Stone feature where some person was asked about the whole thing, and they said we were all into Marvel comics, and the Silver Surfer seemed like another fantastic singular image. We never would have gotten the permission to use it, but we liked the image of a silver man on a silver surfboard, scooting across the
Ah,
universe. It had a mystical properties, very cosmic, man.
bro,
Um,
that's exactly what I said. They were high and
yeah,
they were like, man, a fucking surfboard in space, bro.
yeah,
Can you imagine?
yeah. And again, like there was also the fascination with like the space. The Fantastic Four is based on the space race, right? Stuff like
The
all that
space
stuff.
race, yep.
So there's an obsession overall in the '60s with space. You got Bowie singing about starmen and all that kind of stuff going on. So like yeah, the very of the times like it's just I really like how much rock embraced this very what could have just been a very obscure character for this story. Also in the film for the wall that they had made, there's a Silver Surfer comic in the background. So they, kept the homie. And I
we
also
did get
wanted to,
the I was
uh,
gonna say we did get the costume change.
yes,
We
but that's
got
what I'm
the
saying. The fact that homeboy, the Watcher's in blue means that there was no limitations because they could have just put
yeah,
that
like
blue on the purple and it would have been what it was. Maybe they didn't want it to clash with Watcher.
maybe he was hot. Maybe he was molten hot. He was cooled off and he
Yeah,
turned
yeah,
purple.
yeah. That's what
Maybe
happened. Yeah, and yeah, everything just kind of faded to another color. I also have some quotes about the Silver Surfer from various creators.
Ooh.
So Stanley says, I loved writing the Silver Surfer more than any other character. He gave me the chance to say things I believed in about war, peace, racism, and humanity. The Silver Surfer was one of the most philosophical of all of our characters. He'd fly over Earth and wonder why we were always fighting and always hating. Was pretty. Other
I love
co-creator.
that. I love that Stan Lee has all these public quotes because you can immediately pull them out of the bag. Like, oh, hey, hold on. In case you tied your really backwards values into this important character, let me show you something.
100%.
This is in their DNA. Like, go.
And then like so you have like this almost like omnipotent kind of feel with Stan, and then with Kirby he says, the Silver Surfer was my attempt at introducing a new kind of hero, an alien who can look down on humanity and question what made us tick. I made him as smooth and sleek as the future I hoped for. I created him to be a loner, someone above it all but also lost in it all, like a cosmic angel.
That's beautiful.
Uh,
God, Jack, why aren't these quotes more popular?
yeah, right. Um, I also got John Buscema, who did tremendous work on the Silver Surfer book,
Yeah.
Silver Surfer Volume One, right? The Surfer was born. Oh, sorry, the Surfer was a dream to draw. He was elegant, powerful, and always sad. You couldn't help but get pulled into his world every time he took off into the cosmos. Steve Englehart said he's not just a hero; he's a man trying to come back from being the angel of death. That's a hell of a redemption arc. Which, damn. And then last but not least, I Dan Slott, who also wrote, a tremendous Silver Surfer
It's a great Silver
story.
Surfer, yeah.
Yeah. He's the Doctor Who of the Marvel Universe. When I got the chance to write him, I wanted to explore love, time, and the joy of adventure. He's got the heart of a poet and the weight of a universe on his shoulders. You can use Silver Surfer to tell any kind of story: romance, tragedy, comedy, big sci fi epics. He's the surfboard that rides through all of it. Oh, and obviously, last but not least, Jonathan Hickman. The Surfer is the conscience of the Marvel universe. Whenever the cosmos loses its way, he's the one to remind it of what it matters.
I like it. I think that he has they're killing him.
Yeah.
They're
Again,
killing him
again.
now.
Yeah, because
Uh
Requiem was his death in that story. Yeah,
yeah,
there was whether
yeah.
Elseworlds or whatever, but yeah, they're killing him now.
They're killing him again and they're replacing him. I don't know who that is. I don't know if it's Shalabal or if it's just a girl Silver Surfer. Uh yeah, I was
Interesting.
like that. That's certainly not gonna bring good attention, but or like
You
you're
got
just
you got your money on a Norman Rad mention from Shada Ball in the film.
I think you almost have to, right? Like, come on. Like you gotta set up the idea that maybe he exists in another world or something like that.
What if she's an
Although
independent woman that don't need no man?
uh she
That's
needs Galactus.
oh, that's true.
Though.
That's true. I didn't think about that part. Oh no, Galen. So, issue 49 starts off with Galactus standing tall above the Baxter building, a cosmic god entirely unmoved by the chaos his arrival has caused. He's
He-
not the planetary size that most people think of when they think of Galactus or these images or these splash pages where he's
but he does
absolutely
shift.
ginormous, but he does have the ability, yes, 100%,
I was gonna
shift his
say, do you
appearance.
do you like his hot pants? Like he's
hot
got
boys,
he's
hot
got
boy summer
yeah,
Galactus.
it's fucking hot. It's fucking hot, man.
Yeah, he's going through stuff. He is going through. But yeah, I like how he's like just like face to face with the watcher. Like, you want to talk? You want to like, what are you doing here? Like,
Yeah, they know each other. They're
yeah.
like, I guess the idea is they're in the pantheon of gods together. And
And in a world of surgical knives and scalpels, you have Ben Grimm, who's a sledgehammer, and he immediately just fucking punches
yeah, hey, you big doof.
one of the strongest beings ever in the face. Um, Now, what I was not aware of was this whole Punisher thing.
The Punisher.
The Punisher. Well, years before Frank Castle would end up rocking that moniker, he's a powerful cybernetic enforcer designed to keep pests like them at bay. It's literally like, I'm going to destroy the planet. Here's like something to keep you guys busy. What do you think of the Punisher?
I thought that was cute. It makes sense. But pest control. I'm
Yeah.
hungry here. Just send these things out and they keep things from bothering me. Yeah.
Yeah. So the thing in Mr. Fantastic engaged the Punisher, but the robot proves to be more than a match. Then and the team is swiftly overwhelmed. Meanwhile, far from the action, the Surfer slowly regains consciousness after getting struck by Ben Grimm in the previous issue. He finds himself recovering in the apartment of Alicia Masters.
I was like, that's a crazy. I believe a lot of things in this crazy universe, but that is a stretch. Okay,
That's a hell of a coincidence, huh?
but I also laughed that they all get their ass beat by the robot, and then
Mm.
they go home, and
Yeah,
they
like to
literally
take
just
showers and to
yeah
shave up
yeah.
and try this again tomorrow.
Johnny's like, what are we fucking doing here? We gotta get back, and he's like, hey, shut the fuck up.
Hey,
We got our ass beat. I don't know what we're gonna do.
yeah,
I'm gonna shave.
yeah.
I'm gonna shave. I look
We we
crazy. I don't know
we
if you
did the
see me
whole
out
like
here.
running into it thing, so we're gonna like hang out back here for a
I'm
bit
gonna
and try to figure
try to
out
figure
something
this shit
else.
out.
Um, even though he landed, in the apartment of a human whose planet he's helping destroy, he's not met with hostility, he's met with compassion. Alicia, blind but deeply perceptive, speaks to him with honesty and kindness, tells him about humanity, its flaws, its beauty, its potential. Something stirs in the surfer. For the first time, he starts to question his role as Galactus's herald. Her word, her words hit harder than any blow he's taken, and the seed of doubt begins to grow.
He's so funny. Like he gets here, he's like, "Oh, I haven't thought of anything in a while." But hey, hello,
Without them
hi.
being able to do it
You're
this way with Alicia in the film, it always just struck to me as the surfer was flirting with Sue.
I,
I
but I
just
mean,
watched it. I just watched it. He's all like, "Yeah, girl, you did it. You changed my whole mind about this."
thank you, baby.
Yeah.
Call me if the stretchy guy says anything out of hand.
Is he still in the
Uh,
lab? Huh? You want to ride
uh,
a surfboard?
but I thought it was yeah. I just thought it was funny. Like it's the touch of a woman. Holy shit! What's that? That's warm. What's this? I feel.
Not only
What the
that, but
fuck is
she
that?
she kind of digs him too, man. I don't like what happens at the end of
She
the next issue.
she no. See, that's where it's us as men. We have to learn
Here,
to
here,
take a step
read the
and wait.
room.
Because she's just really, really compassionate. And you could even argue in this world of Marvel heroes, who knows if it's a fucking power or not? She's just like, wow, look at this fucking deep. What are you, shiny? This doesn't even
Yeah,
feel right. Like,
he
wow,
speaks
I
like a
gotta show.
poet.
And then her first thought is, I gotta show this guy to Ben.
Yeah,
Like that's what she thought. She wasn't thinking like, I love him. She's like, Ben would love this fucking weirdo.
yeah.
Like, look at this. Not a weirdo, but like he's beautiful.
And like they like she like sits him down for tea or whatever, so they can continue talking
Yeah.
about this stuff. And you just cut and like Galactus has built an entire fucking apparatus
Well, while they were
on the
fucking
backs of the
shaving.
building. That's what I'm saying. So like they open the window. Kirby does like I just talked about like the distressed Ben face. But distressed thing face is also very great. Look at
I
that.
I gotta get that on there. I gotta turn off my background so
No,
I can get these fucking.
but distressed Ben Grimm face is a emoji in and of itself. And yeah, they're fucking stressed. The Watcher's still there, not doing anything either. But he approaches them once again, breaking his sacred vow of non-violence. He reveals that Galactus can be stopped, but only by a device found aboard the world ship that floats high above Earth. It's called the Ultimate Nullifier. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that.
That's fucking great.
That's me. What do you mean overdrafted? That's my face for that.
This this was cool. We got a really cool kind of flash vision of what the Earth would look like if Galactus got to eat it. And it's like he will evaporate all the water on the planet, and then they show the Earth like hollowed out with like
Be-
just green.
Beached
Dude,
whales and octopusi.
they, I thought it was a great shot where they like pull back and they like show the Earth. It looks kind of like cheese. Like there's no water. Like I was like, that's fucking great.
In that
Uh,
moment, I'm gonna say this is controversial, but in that moment, I realized I kind of had to apologize to the 2007 Fantastic Four thing because remember he was putting holes in it like cheese the
yeah,
entire
yeah,
time to then
yeah.
eventually take it. And at the time, I thought like that's really cheesy. I thought Galactus like walked up on these things and just popped them in his mouth. Like they always show him to be fucking huge, But no, they did it very comic book accurate with him, pulling from the resources of the earth and then eventually making it a husk, and then you know and then I just love that it shows how he's just gonna leave when everything goes to shit. Like once he has ripped it of all of its essence, he's just gonna go away. And we got more now. We got stressed Two Face. We got more stressed Ben Face. Um, so they want to get this ultimate nullifier. They know that it's no small task. The ship lies deep in space, and only one of them has the speed and the power to reach it, and it's Johnny who volunteers. Watcher imbues him with the energy needed to survive the journey, and with a flash of flame, the Human Torch rockets to the cosmos. Um, does he have like an existential crisis once he gets there? Am I misremembering?
I think because I don't know if he like he said I'm sending you through the cosmos, space and time. Like I think he just overloaded his brain or something.
That's what
Like
they.
it was a lot.
Yeah, he's like, oh my god. He's like, all of this going on. You see that little? You see that little weapon? The little thing shot him with, or whatever.
Yeah, the little machine he put on his head.
Yeah.
He's like,
Stay still, human. This kills
open
5 out
your
of 6 of the
mind.
people that I've used this on.
I'm sure you'll be fine.
And meanwhile, like I said, Ben is just trying to fight this dude
There,
hand to hand.
Reed too. Reed is funny as hell. He's like, I'm turning into a ball. Throw me, Ben. Well, that's very useful, Reed.
Doesn't work. Ben charges into the fray again and again, but it's like throwing fists at a thunderstorm. Nothing slows the godlike being down. In the quiet Alicia's apartment, the surfer reaches a breaking point. Her words and raw emotion behind them have awakened something long dormant in him. No longer willing to be the bringer of death, he flies into the sky, determined to confront his master. But like I was saying before, this didn't happen overnight. Like he was very adamant about, like, yeah, they should die. Look at him.
He's so fat.
He was a
He's
kingpin.
so fat.
He's like the kingpin, and that thing, that shadow looks like a scar in his eye. He looks like Doctor No or Doctor Evil.
Look at him.
Ridiculous.
He comes. Please bring me a sandwich.
I have been
Susan.
watching the oven. It's what I've been watching. Back in space, Johnny completes the mission. They're like very hush hush about it. Like there's no like showing it. Like, yep, he's done. He's back. He emerges from Galactus' ship with the ultimate nullifier in hand, the energy from the weapon crackling around him. Anything you want to say besides what we have said about like the Kirby crackle?
I mean, it's Kirby Crackle. The guy invented it. It's a great way to show this kind of cosmic power. It's not fire. It's not, it's not of this earth. How do you think up a way to express energy that isn't of this earth? And he
Mm-hmm.
created something so fucking good that it has never, ever, ever been replaced.
Yeah,
Everyone else just said, yeah, that's exactly how it looks.
that is the
Kirby Crackle.
language of space now.
Yeah,
That
I
is how
love
you tell the artistic language of space through
it.
these Kirby crackles. I'm looking at this
Any
chip, this fucking this
any
zigzag fucking chip.
any form of animation or art that has Kirby Crackle, I immediately am like, those people know what's up. Like, look at that. When Into the Spider Verse did their whole ending with all the fucking crackle and everything, I was like, as if I didn't love this movie enough.
Yeah,
God, I love it.
yeah.
Yeah.
And it just
Shit.
speaks to his art because a lot of his art works with shadows. So there's just like a manipulation of light and color, just really, really cool stuff. So yep, we did that. He returns to Earth just as the surfer arrives to stand against Galactus for the first time. The issue ends with a tension hanging in the air. Johnny holds his hands on the weapon that could potentially destroy the entire universe. The Watcher warns them all the nullifier is no bluff. If used recklessly, it could annihilate everything. Are they always put at a standstill with this weapon?
Uh, with the ultimate nullifier,
Yeah, I feel like it's always used as a bargaining thing and it never gets shot. In my
I, wa-
history of reading it.
I want to say that it has been used because it's been so long, but
Yeah,
I just don't think I read the thing it happened in. I just think it's very likely that it has been used.
that is fair.
Uh,
Yeah, it ends with the Watcher, that thing. And then I don't know why, but when it says next issue, don't miss our mind staggering conclusion or whatever. That's like Cody. That's Cody's. You see the little
what the fuck?
on the last page where it goes to his eyes.
I'm never gonna unsee that.
That's Cody Rhodes right there.
What the fuck?
I don't know why that said Cody to me, but that's definitely fucking Cody Rhodes.
What? Thanks, George. Thanks a lot.
I mean, I didn't give you Fat Watcher. You can't blame me for everything. um, yes. So now we are on the final issue. Galactus Tower. Let me get my visual aid ready real quick.
I just want to say
Go
this
ahead.
final issue ends midway through. And
Yes.
if you see that on the bottom there, hopefully it'll
Yes.
fucking focus out.
At
That is
last.
advertising at last. Johnny Storm is going to college.
Yes.
I didn't, I didn't read
Me either. And I thought it would have something to say about it, but it just doesn't. And I also like the I like the little hat. You see how he has a hat?
that.
He felt like he needed a hat in college for some strange reason.
You go to college, you bring a top hat.
Hey,
Doesn't everybody?
gotta bring a hat. Okay, so our final issue starts with Galactus. They're towering above the world, unmoved by sentiment, compassion, or the Silver Surfers, please, because he's like, Master, for the first time, I've realized. And he's like, I don't give it. What? What?
Realize, what are you talking about? Why
Yeah.
is he talking to the steak?
Yes.
What the fuck?
I feel sorry for these beings. Like, what the hell? It's supposed to be a barbecue. He thanks Alicia Masters. He rises up in defiance of his master. He soars through the sky, bombarding Galactus with all of his cosmic might. But no matter how fiercely he fights, Galactus is simply too powerful. The Surfer's rebellion is noble but futile. And again, like, I don't know why, but my mind remembered like Surfer beating him or doing, but he did all this shit, and then Galactus would just come back out and be like, "What the fuck you thought
he
this
put
was?"
him. He like put him inside of a cocoon.
Mm-hmm.
He put Galactus in like a cocoon, and dumbass Ben, I don't know what he was thinking. Like, he's in the cocoon. Why is he trying to punch it? He's like, let's see if this stuff is as strong as it looks. I bet it never felt a hunk of energy before. Why, Ben? Why? He locked it up already.
There's a moment that encapsulates both those characters very well, where he says, "Ben, you don't know nothing about it," and he says, "Relax, Stretcho, what's there to know?" That's the interaction between these two. And then he just busts out planetary power, cosmic power. Just him stretching himself out of that teleportation, the "Where is my Herald" panel, so badass.
Oh, that's awesome! You're right. I didn't focus on that the first time I read this. He looked pissed too.
Yeah,
Where's my Herald?
He's like,
Yeah, that's so good.
We need a moment. You know what I'm saying? Like, we got. He's embarrassed me in front of you two, and we need to talk.
I was really surprised by how patient Galactus was with Silver Surfer.
Yes.
Like, he was like, "What the fuck is going on?" He was like, "You bugging out? I can wait. I can wait 1,000 years. I
Yeah.
don't know what's your problem, but I'll sit here and wait."
It goes back to what they were saying before about him being like a benevolent force, right? Like he's not taking glee in doing this, so he wouldn't be taking anger in getting at Silver Surfer for this. He's just very confused. He doesn't know why this is happening. And again, not only this is not a disagreement. Now Surfer's hitting him. Like, Surfer's actively attacking him. And he just, like I said, like, as this goes and it continues, it goes from a level of confused to a level of like betrayal. And what's interesting about that is betrayal comes from almost a place of pain. And you would think somebody who is this much of a storm cloud, right? Like, just like a force of nature, wouldn't care. But there is a level of betrayal here that bothers him.
It's a complete betrayal to him because he's like, I realize, like, he kind of sees him as like a son-ish thing. He's like, he's shooting him with things he knows he can dodge, and Surfer's like, why would he shoot these at me? And he's literally like, I'm aware of your skill. I have seen you dodge the meteor swarms of space. I have taken pride at the manner in which you've hurtled the comets. He's like, I love watching him do his shit, man.
And that makes it double-edged, right? Because in the next panel, he says, "Swear allegiance to me once more, Herald. I have no wish to cause you harm." But then the Surfer just, combats with like, "And you would obliterate the entire planet with no trace of misgiving." In that moment, in that panel, Surfer knows that he's not being attacked. He's not being shot to be killed in that, but he's still willing to take the fight to Galactus for Earth because of the conversation he had with Alicia Masters.
Hey, Galactus is so confused.
That's what I'm saying. He's like, "I don't want to hurt you. I'm putting things around. I'm like, I'm doing warning shots into the air. I'm not shooting you. I'm shooting into the air to kind of hopefully snap you back into what all this shit was and what it's always supposed to be."
He's literally asking him. He's like, "What? Why are you calling me a monster? Not only are you attacking me, you're hurting my fucking feelings. Hold on a second. Like, what is your problem?" Yep. He hurt his feelings, bro. He's like, "What? I've been eating hamburgers my whole life. You've been coming with me to McDonald's, and today You became a vegan,
Yeah.
and now you shame me.
Yeah.
I'm
In front of
just
the cows.
hungry.
In front of the cows. Like, what are we doing here, bro? What are we doing here? From the edge of space, Johnny Storm finally returns, singed but victorious, his hands on the ultimate nullifier, the impossibly small device with the power to destroy galaxies. Reed Richards takes the weapon and without flinching points it straight at Galactus. He doesn't bluff. Reed tells the world devourer that the Earth must fail, it will not go quietly. He will destroy them all rather than let the planet be consumed. So there's a lot going on. But yeah, I love Cosmic Johnny. I love the drawings of Cosmic Johnny.
It's gorgeous. There's actually one hilarious panel where he's going into he's going into this wormhole, and it feels like they drew it and then Stan Lee decided it needed to be explained.
Yes.
So he just randomly says, we're going through the wormhole, and Sting Thing is like, oh no, kid, I thought we were playing pool or some shit. Like it felt like, okay, we have to explain.
Very obvious on the nose. I'm not gonna lie, some of that Flash coming through the burn hole, kind of coming through, kind of not, reminds me of Barry in the Speed Force, sort of like breaking through. That weird image of him kind of trapped in the Speed Force with the, not the flames around him, but the electricity and stuff. Really cool, otherworldly, other dimensional stuff going on here. And again, because the Galactus is like, he's not a humongous, he's big enough for Reed to be like, and what about this? Like right in his face. It's like, oh shit.
Whoa.
Where'd you get that?
Put that down.
Take it easy. Take it easy.
You don't even know what that is.
Yeah. It's one of those things where it's like he couldn't even bluff.
It is funny though, because Reed can literally stretch his arms, so he's just like
right into his face. But that's what I'm saying. Like, he couldn't even bluff. Like, he didn't say like, "Oh, what was that?" or like, "What are you planning?" He's like, "Oh my god, Mike, I'm so sorry. I'm so fucking sorry."
Put that shit down. Holy shit!
Do you see the weird coloring on the page where he's sticking it in his face, where his hands are half purple and half red, and his helmet's half red?
They actually fixed it in this coloring I have here.
Oh,
I'll make sure if I show you. It's there you go.
Oh, so I'm talking about the panel, the next panel,
the
next bottom panel. Yeah, look, his helmet is half red, which is not supposed to be red at all, right? It's all purple.
Oh, I see.
And
it's
then his hand is half. He has one of those like holographic paint jobs where as he walks, the colors kind of swift around the. 100%.
I dig it.
Yeah, like. He's having this argument with him, like, "How did you find this?" and whatever. And the Watcher's just standing there, like, I don't know, bro. He's like, "You bastard! You told him about the fucking.
You son of a bitch! You gave those kids a knife. Now he's gonna stab himself.
Stab me with. Galactus pauses. He's seen the ultimate nullifier before. He knows it's a threat. Reluctantly, he agrees to leave Earth in peace on one condition: Reed must return the weapon. With the terms accepted, considering the fact that he just found this weapon, right? That's an easy deal to make. All right, I'll give you this thing I never had if you never come back.
Like how Reed is like, you know, I really like this tactic. I'm gonna hold on to it. I will.
I will continue to destroy people. I mean, I continue to threaten people with fucking mutually assured destruction at all times. I'm telling you, that's what I'm saying. Like the breadcrumbs to the maker have always been there. It's so fucking interesting, but it's all there. So with the terms accepted, Galactus departs, his world ship vanishing into the stars. But before he leaves, he exacts a quiet punishment. He's like, "Guess what, Silver Surfer? You're cut off. I'm cutting you the fuck off." All that shit you said, I'm cutting you the fuck off. Took all his space-time powers, cutting him off from the power cosmos. The Herald, who was once soared between the galaxies, is now bound to Earth, trapped in the very planet he saved. Didn't they do something like this in the movie? Doesn't he become like granite, like not silver? He's like black, or
doesn't he get it back though? I thought he got it back. I try not to watch that movie again. I don't have any fresh memories of it.
I feel like it's when he's in the encampment, like he gets trapped by somebody. They have him. They have him restrained. Remember, because he shows Galactus on his stomach. Sue's like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Let me show you on my abs." And then he's the cloud of Galactus. Um. So, as Calm returns to the city, Alicia finds the surfer alone on the rooftop, gazing at the sky he can no longer reach. She thanks him for his bravery, her voice warm and full of admiration. But nearby, Ben Grimm watches the scene and unfolds with heavy eyes. To him, it looks like Alicia's affection has shifted to the surfer, and that quiet heartbreak is more than he can bear.
The cut panel.
More stress.
The,
It's
the
so. Not only is it that, and not only is it so depressing, but all of his words, bro, his words, they're still he talks like a poet and she's listening like it's the first time she ever heard a guy speak to her. I can't even get mad. He didn't try to beat he didn't try to beat my time. It just happened. Anyhow, if I was Alicia, who would I pick? A gleaming gladiator like him or an ape like me? Face it, ugly. It ain't no contest. And
this is thing.
like that, like not only that, but like I checked, the next issue is the This Man, This Monster issue. The issue
Oh
where,
shit.
yeah, so like
It's perfect setup.
he had all of this fucking weight from all this going on. He's helped save the day and still doesn't feel like he could be, get the hero's welcome from his girl at the time. And she did nothing wrong. She can't see. You're right. Yeah. So she did nothing wrong in this instance. She didn't know that he was right there while she was praising this man and his nakedness and his ability to.
No, she did. She knew he was there because she turned around and talked to him, and she was like, "Wait, where's everybody else?"
Well, he says, no, he says, the surfer says that he was here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, his surfer says they carried but where are the others? You must meet them all. She's talking to Surfer, and Surfer says they carried the young one to the resting place, and the one called Ben is following. And she goes, Ben. Who's Ben? Now she goes, Ben leaving.
Oh no, this is worse. This is worse than I thought, though. She's blind, so she thought everyone was still there.
Yes.
He's like, wait, where'd everybody go? Well, they're all leaving, and so was your man. Why did he get mentioned like that?
If you go up to when you go up earlier, Johnny Storm is completely passed the fuck out. And Reed is carrying drunk Johnny Storm in the background, and Sue's gonna go with him. That's my brother.
Susan, take your drunk ass brother out of here.
He is passed out. So yeah, they went to go handle that, and these two were up there on the rooftop, and Ben just got there.
She ran right past him. He's like, she ran right past me. She's blind. You knew that when you got with her, Ben.
Yeah.
It's such a hey. Listen, we all have doubts. It happens to all of us.
But it's all about transparency in relationship. If something bothers you, tell them, especially when they literally can't see the thing that's bothering you. I think you have a responsibility in that moment.
You can't see the thing that's bothering you.
Hey man, there's always a thing in the way. The Silver Surfer, meanwhile, chooses not to wallow in sorrow. Whoa. The Silver Surfer, meanwhile, chooses not to wallow in sorrow. Wallow in sorrow is harder to say back to back than I thought. Instead, he accepts his exile as an opportunity. Earth is now his new world, and he vows to wander its lands, learn its ways, and understand the people he saved. That's really cool. Like, it's a really cool start for that character, right? Like, I just did that really terrible thing, or almost hope that really terrible thing happened, and now it's gonna chill.
They definitely backdoor spin off the shit out of him. They were like, yeah.
And that's sad. And Alicia's left on the staircase yelling for Ben and saying, "Why don't you answer?"
Ben, he hears you.
He's right. He's just that's fucking terrible. Oh, that's terrible. As the dust settled, the world spins. Newspapers and TV anchors dismissed the Galactus event as a hoax or an elaborate publicity stunt.
Well, it's funny because it's only the Daily Bugle and only an article by J. Jonah Jameson calls it a hoax. They're reading a much more balanced newspaper in the next panel that does acknowledge Galactus is real and vanished. So it's just funny seeing that the Daily Bugle has always been a rag, even in other books. It's a complete rag. And I think someone even mentions, I've learned that the best thing to do is read Jameson's editorials and then believe exactly the opposite.
Fair. Elsewhere, The existence of a godlike being is too much for the average citizen to accept, and the denial wins out over belief. Not everyone is so quick to forget. In a quiet room, a mysterious man takes a note of a news report about the thing roaming the city. His interest is piqued. I have no idea who this is. Is this Crusher Creel?
I can't tell. His look is too generic.
Very caveman in nature.
Yeah, I didn't.
He's wearing like suit stuff, but that's what everyone wore back in those days. Um, and I think we can stop there. I don't think we have to go to the college stuff and us.
No, I think the thing
Do you
about
want to go
college,
into the fight? You want to go into the fight with Sue and Reed again?
which one?
The one where he's working on something, she's trying to help, and it almost attacks her, so they get mad, and basically what that was there.
No, what I was gonna say was before we move on, the only real thing we had to talk about was with the college thing was that I guess the idea was that how can this kid possibly go to college after everything that's just happened? Like
Yeah,
it
the
can't
gravitas of
be
everything
yeah. And
can't be
then
normal.
finally after 3 fucking issues, he takes a second to think about Crystal, who
Yeah,
he did not. I mean, he didn't have time to think about. There
he's
was
like,
just
oh
too
shit,
much
that
going
was
on.
right before that happened.
Damn,
Didn't
man, I left my girlfriend.
Yeah, they ain't let him. They ain't let him
I
be with his
didn't.
girl.
I didn't know that was the creation of the dome, like the famous domes, that city that they have on Earth.
Ah,
I thought that was just a thing. That's like the dome, the Adelon, the Earth city that they live on.
that dude that's in the like the tan suit looks like he's supposed to be somebody. He looks like the guy who's doing at the auction in Batman and Robin.
I'm a detective, eh?
Yeah, he looks like a very like he's drawn to look out like someone very serious there. But yeah, ultimately Johnny has to kind of live with being normal after the fact, and even then, like again, like just the image of him at school, they're talking to him about serious shit, and all he can think about is the fact that he was just in space not too long ago.
There's
Pretty
also a
interesting.
great one page. Like if you ever want to like encapsulate the thing and how he really feels, or how what should be his underlying feeling, even below all the comic relief stuff that he does put on to hide his own depression.
Mm-hmm.
It's this one page where he bumps into a lady and scares the shit out of her, and then he gets down on himself and he's like, poor kid was scared of me. Who could blame her?
Mm-hmm.
The only reason Alicia put up with me is because she was blind. And like he's just really down on himself, and it's like if your thing doesn't have this aspect, this borderline, this fucking clinical depression, then he's broken. He's not right.
There's also a little level of like of a soldier in Ben in the sense that the one thing that he's good at, like you don't need in a time of peace. And then what does he do when everyone's chilling? He can't do the normal stuff that other people do during peacetime. Everyone wants his gifts in the thick of it, but no one wants it 24 hours, and he has to live with that for
Yeah.
24 hours.
Yeah.
He is not, human passing. Like we talk about with some of the X-Men, right? Like he doesn't have the luxury of being a gorgeous man who happens to turn into a rock monster when he wants to. Like that's his default all the
I
time.
I also love that was always that was always a thing. Like characters evolve over time, and something like what it sounds like something somebody would have thought of when they tried to mature the comic material. Like, well, what if he
Yeah,
was actually depressed because he is the thing when everybody else can't be? But it's like that's been in his DNA since day one. I want to die.
that's the
Like I
that's the thing.
want to die.
That's the thing I would say was one of the most shocking things about rereading this is how realized the characters were by this issue.
Yeah.
Everything you need to know about every one of these characters is in these 3 issues. I'm assuming in issues before and I'm assuming in issues
Yeah.
after, but all distilled. I was surprised that I got things depression so early. I was surprised that I got Sue and Reed's marital issues so early. I was surprised that we went cosmic with Johnny so early. And They just did it, and it goes to show how much was embedded in these characters decades before people could complain about what has just happened in the last 15, 20 years,
Yeah.
in regards to their depiction. But some will say that Marvel's first family is not complete until there's some pattering of little feet, which
Whee!
starts in Fantastic Four Annual number 6. That is the introduction of Franklin Richards, a character that will be making his cinematic debut in Fantastic Four First Steps. I am a little bit taken aback by how blatant they've just let that out of the cage. Is that because they have more, or is that because
Yeah.
they're desperate?
Well, I don't think they ever meant to hide. Well, at least the Franklin of it, because I think it's like you want to create the mystique in the beginning, but the name of the movie, First Steps. I feel like at a certain point they wanted the people to know it was going to be about get the baby. Uh, I think they are at a place though where they know they can't hold back too much right now. Like we have to create some kind of heavy interest. Like we want people to be excited for Franklin Richards. Franklin Richards, um, I don't know if it was their intention when they created him, but ultimately ends up being like one of the more interesting characters in the entire fucking Marvel universe. Essentially, he's a mutant,
Yeah.
and mutant born of these cosmically enhanced
I love the blood
parents.
under the microscope. It's just
Oh my
Kirby
god!
Crackle.
I swear to God, I was saying that shit to myself. He was like, "Come over here and check out what we found." What's that? It's
It's like,
Kirby Crackle.
like
We just
what?
found a bunch of Kirby. That's exactly what I said to myself. I chuckled because I was like, he says, come here, let's check this out. What? Look
It's
into
like
this.
pure galaxy in the blood.
What did you find? We found Kirby Crackle in her blood.
Check it out. Isn't this shit cool?
It's just cool as fuck. How do you think he came up with that?
But this you had recommended this read, and besides it being the introduction of Franklin Richards, I don't even believe he's named in this.
Yeah.
But what you essentially gave me was like almost a crash course on what is probably going to be the tone of First Steps, which
Yeah.
is like this knockdown, drag out race to ensure the safe arrival of
Yeah.
Franklin Richards. Reed in this is damn right heroic. I know that's weird to say because they are superheroes, but he's always on that line. This is the most self-sacrificing I've ever seen him. This is the most like we gonna do this by any means fucking necessary. And to see him
Yeah.
so motivated by his own child, by his own
Yeah.
wife, there's something very inspirational there. But I've said what I have to say. What do you think about that story?
I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun. It's the introduction of Annihilus as well, which is
I didn't think it was that. I thought it was just like
yeah.
another
No,
we popped in on
it
him
is
again.
his very first appearance of Annihilus, because they had gone to the negative zone before, right? They mentioned that they have been. This is not the first time they've gone to the negative zone.
Yeah.
But essentially, just to kind of, I guess, because you can speed run this. This doesn't. We don't really need to go detail by detail with this, because essentially, it's a pretty simple story.
Yeah.
It's just it's an annual, so it's told across 80 pages. Because like, there's even a point where it feels like this could have been the end,
Yeah.
if we didn't have 30 more pages to fill. So essentially, Reed is just on desperately on his in his lab when he should be at the hospital. Johnny and Thing are like, "Bro, what the fuck are you doing here?" And that's like what we mentioned, where he's like, "We don't have time for talk, boy."
I know I haven't told you anything up until this point, but we definitely don't have time for me to tell you more. What I will say, is I think that your sister's gonna die.
What?
That's exactly what he says. He's like, what? He's like, yep. Cosmic radiation in her blood. We all
right
got
back.
it. We all got it. But there's like one thing we can do to go get it. And what I do like is the other two volunteer. The other two are like, you're not doing this shit alone. We're gonna go with you because it's in the negative zone. And so you get to Annihilus, you get to the cosmic rod. I like that he's introduced as Annihilus, the living death that walks, instead of just the Walking Dead.
They
The living death that walks.
He's so annoying here.
Annihilus?
Oh my god, he's so annoying. He loves talking, this Annihilus.
I also feel like he would squawk. I also feel like
I got squawk. I got a squawk. I got in my reading of him. I also hear like
yeah.
He probably clicks like Buggy clicks. I still see him as the Bug Annihilus, like the leader
Yeah.
of the Annihilation Wave. They
Hmm.
draw more like rhinos and shit here, like really Jack Kirby-esque, but in the future the Annihilation Wave becomes like really nasty looking bugs and they eat everything in their power.
This kind
Uh
of does establish his ability to swarm, right? His ability to get a bunch
yeah.
of of,
Yeah.
of, of followers, or and use them against people. Bunch more Kirby Crackle. Bunch. We get back to those realistic depictions of the
That's that
planets and
panel.
shit.
That's that panel with the we're going through the barrier.
When you get
Yeah,
past
yeah.
that panel and past the next panel with all the exposition, the difference between that panel, right, where it says
Yeah.
flame on, but the difference between the page before that and that page is like getting high. It's like
It's like
at one
drugs.
minute you're there, you're with everybody there, and the next minute it's just Reed by himself floating through
It's
fucking like
it's
just
incredible.
space. Yeah, it's really really
It's
evocative.
that it's that photorealism thing they did again, where they kind of took pictures that they had, like 3D pictures, and pasted and put things on top of each other and
Yeah.
created new, unrecognizable things.
But this is almost like cutouts of the cat. You can almost see the white around
Yeah,
some of the
yeah, you
characters
can,
as you cut.
you can see that everything on this page. Because I can imagine even the bubbles, the speech bubble. It's like layers of paper on clear paper, pasted on top, and then like copied in a Xerox machine,
Hmm.
right? So it's like you can still see the characters, like they're cut out. Like you said, Johnny, it wasn't cut perfectly. Like he's got
And nothing
white.
is drawn like in the dimension in front of them, if that makes sense, right?
Oh
There's
no,
no
it's
like sort of there's no like anything in front of them. They seem to be in front of everything.
no. What's great is the speech bubbles. Nobody can cut out speech bubbles perfectly. They all have paper edges
Yes,
like
they do.
left
The
on
white.
the outside. It is so charming to
Yeah.
me. Like I love that.
It gives you the feeling that these people are out of place in the place that they are. They literally are
Uh,
cut out
but also, I
around.
like seeing the work that goes into the book at the time. Like, how do you create this effect? We fucking put paper on top of other paper, and we we slapped it up together, and we used crazy glue or whatever.
That's 100%
Paper
my
glue.
point. The innovation, just strictly the innovation that they were able to do, um, with something like this, and you got this idea that I, in a world where sci-fi had a real hard time making different aliens, Kirby seems to have a lot of fun just doing weird shit
Yeah,
to
yeah. I think
create
he
different
loves.
aliens and different lore and different, like, even the stuff in here that he just makes up, like all the beings that help Annihilus, all the weird space boot that he kicked Reed with, the weird like chair that takes Reed to his dungeon and all that kind of stuff. But yeah, I like that it cuts to Crystal. She's like, "Damn, this is going so wrong. I know, I know this fucking pregnancy is going wrong." And the doctor's like, "Do you want to see some shit? Let me show you some
It's
shit."
you're not supposed to be in here, but since you are, check this out.
This
She's
is
like, "What's
not.
that?"
This is bad
Kirby
doctoring,
Crackle.
right? I don't think anyone's ever done this
It's
before.
very,
Like,
very bad doctoring. I was
let
like,
me.
why on earth would he? I guess because they're the Fantastic Four. Like he was like, okay, well, I'm sure you're fine. You're dressed in a yellow spandex. You've got to be with them. I'm like, come on and check this shit out. This is crazy. And she looks into it.
He's looking at her like, "What do you want me to do with this? Like, look,
And,
look at
you
this
ever
cosmic
seen?
blood. What the
You
fuck are
ever
you?"
seen something like this
Yeah.
before?
And if you have, please tell me what I'm supposed to do because I don't fucking know. Um, but yeah, they're still traversing the negative zone. Old boy's giving his supervillain speeches, talking about his cosmic rod.
I, it's this is the scene. Well, these are the scenes. Reed gets separated from them, and then he gets sucked
He's the
into
first one captured.
Nihilus's
Yeah,
lair, and then he's like describing everything as it happens to him. Like I'm being sucked into the lair. I'm
yeah.
being lifted off the ground. I'm being thrown to the left.
I think I'm in his lair. Yeah, yep.
And then now we get Johnny and Thing also getting pulled into the lair. Where I was like, damn, that was fast. And Annihilus again, talkative as fuck, talking so much shit.
I want to say it's his talking that got him. Basic.
Yeah,
That's why he lost because he's like,
yeah.
"I'll beat you with this cosmic rod," and Reed's like, "Cosmic rod, eh?" I didn't know that was a cosmic rod.
He's funny as fuck because they dropped Reed in this prison where everyone is terrified, and Annihilus is used to dealing with PTSD people, but Reed is like, oh shit. He
Yeah.
just stretched his arm and just punched him in the face. No time for games.
Yes.
Boom. My wife is pregnant.
But that's what I'm saying. Like the urgency there is an urgency in this. It does feel like
Yeah.
we're running against the clock here. Um, he's just blasting people all willy nilly. The fight continues, gets pushed through the wall or whatever. And then what is that? What is that machine he builds to fucking shoot them? That weird.
He pulled out a whole Jack Kirby machine, so it takes up a whole fucking half the page. It's contraption, and then it lets out a boot.
A literal
Giant, a actual boot comes down and stomps Thing, and Thing. Know why he did this? Thing just first he grabs it. Like I guess one thing comes out for each member of the team that he has there. He gets a boot for Thing, a giant saw for Reed, and then a big sponge for Johnny. It's gonna
suffocate him and smother him.
Suffocate him. So Johnny's fighting this sponge off. Reed is fighting off this fucking this. He can't even fight the buzzsaw. Johnny has to fight off the sponge, and then he has to melt the buzzsaw for Reed. And he's just laying under the boot, and you would think he needs help, and he was like, "Nah, I was just waiting for you guys to be done."
But him laying under the boot gave me the tone of Drax when the gun was pointing at his face. Like, I could take it, and she's like, "No, he can't." He's like on the ground. He's like, "I'm just getting started," and I'm like, "Bro, you do not look like you're getting started."
No, but like in the heat of this battle, he fell under this boot and he saw Johnny and Reed fighting for their life, and he could have taken his boot off at any moment, but he thought
he wanted to wait for them to be looking.
They got this. And also, like, I woke up really early. Like, I'm tired.
I'm fucking
I just gonna lay under this boot. And as soon as
it gave me the right amount of pressure with my back cracked, and that's been bothering me for the last couple weeks.
I've been having a bad time lately. This is great. Oh, it's over. And he just flips the boot off him.
And I was disappointed because I thought like the boot was like the harbinger of like another boot. Like I thought there was gonna be like some sort of Annihilus Megazord. Megazord, no. He used all of his technology to make a single boot, one boot, and didn't have a backup plan for that. But yeah,
he just kicked him with it. Just threw it in his face, knocked him out.
Oh shit, he's knocked out. Reed commits grand theft, steals the fucking cosmic rod.
Theft auto.
Yeah, he's
Grand Theft Cosmic.
Grand Theft Cosmic takes that shit. Not only does he take that, he takes his fucking plane. That's my favorite part of this comic is when the Annihilus wakes up and he's like, "Oh, they must have got away. Let me get my cosmic rod." Motherfucker, they took the cosmic rod. That's fine. I'll get on my car to go get them. Motherfucker, they took my car.
This is fucking. They came to this place where they don't belong.
Yeah.
Robbed this man, knocked his ass out, took his chain, took his car.
Yeah.
It broke his windows.
Yep. And bounced the fuck out. So he releases the horrors.
What they call them.
Yeah, these are the more alligator like. I feel like there's even a little bit of Fing Fang Foom in the face.
Yeah. A little rhinoceros nose.
Rhino crocodile. Crocorinos.
Because the camera has to adjust, but
yeah, but you know, like that's like the almost the last additional wave. Those guys come and start to attack the ship that they stole from Annihilus, and using their powers all together, they're able to sort of get rid of them. But then they end up like in the middle of nowhere in space.
Yeah, and then in the negative zone, which I guess you would imagine maybe there's some stuff you don't want to breathe, but
yes,
yeah, I guess it's fine.
But I guess the part that confused me is I can't remember exactly how they got back.
Well,
they said that the cosmic powers wouldn't work, and he was doing like a big speech about how we're all connected in the grand scheme, and then I kind of lost his. He met somebody from another world, right? Like a negative Reed Richards. When's that guy coming back?
It was him theorizing that it's possible that, like, I think he just kind of realized that this is a real place. Like, I don't know, I don't know why he didn't consider it before, but like it just kind of hit him.
He took it to its eventuality. He recognized that it was a place, but what does that mean? If there's a negative place or negative energy, it means it has exactly what we have, but just on a negative side of it, almost a negative polarity. And so he wanted to. He was theorizing that then there must be people who must have evolved just like people of his age and stuff like that. But then Annihilus just shows up.
But he figures if they were made of if they exist here, like I think he just thought too far. Like, oh man, if the people are here, then they must exist and be negative energy. And if they're negative energy and we're positive energy and we touch, then we would fucking die. And then the nihilist just comes in like, where's my chain?
Yeah.
What the
He's,
fuck?
he's having this philosophical thought, and he comes back, you motherfuckers. Hold on, what do you think about the idea of having press conferences at hospitals?
I in a world where the Fantastic Four mean a lot to people,
Yeah.
then I guess like it's different. It's not like a celebrity or it's not like a regular person. It's like, is the Pope okay? Please tell us.
Yeah.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
We need
I
anything.
think that. Yeah, I just think it's funny the way they handle things. They don't answer shit. They answer questions really funny. Like why are we telling everyone?
And he tells you, by the way, there's a strange cosmic element within her blood, an element that might cause the death of our patients and as well as her child, unless an antidote can be found. Hey, is someone getting that? Is someone getting that antidote? Yes.
Greatest team ever known. Her in-laws or
Yes.
her brother. Her
Fantastic in-laws. That's what it should have been. But yeah, they keep doing battle with Annihilus here. He's still talking his crap. He's got like a glider and it's got all these kind of weaponry and stuff like that. But Reed does some MacGyvering to the cosmic rod. Is that what goes on there?
Well, Annihilus is like, I don't know why he actually. Let me go see. I don't remember why he mentioned that you can take out cosmic energy, like you can drain. Oh, Reed is asking out loud. He's talking to Ben, and he's like, why don't you just throw it at him? Stretch can't do us no good. And he's like, it can. Trust me, I can fix that. And he's like, I trust you, but I don't want to die looking at that ugly shit. And so Reed is like, everything depends on whether it's possible to drain this energy within. And Annihilus is just, of course it's possible. The fuck are you talking about?
Yeah.
There's a nozzle right on top.
Oh, but this is that goes back to all the talking we were just talking about, right? Like he keeps getting himself into trouble because he can't shut the hell up. Yeah.
But actually, this kind of fixed it for him because then Reed is like, okay, well, give us our repeller units and you can have this back since I can just take energy out.
Yeah,
and
we'll take enough for the baby.
He just learned. He's used the same trick he used on Galactus. He's like, I'll fucking give it back if you get us out of here. And so yeah, that's essentially what happens. He stole some energy.
He's definitely learning some stuff. But yeah, they end up getting back safe. They're back at the hospital. They get accosted by several people who want to know what the situation is. I like Ben's coat. I feel like that he felt like he had to dress up for this occasion.
I like the other father. There's another father in the hospital room.
I didn't know who that dude was.
He's just another father in the hospital room. Like there's just other babies here,
and this is the era of chain smoking in hospitals. Because
I mean, yes,
homeboy's going
honestly,
truly, homeboy is going through it. And again, Galactus might not have been that long ago before this, so it's been a hell of a year in New York. But they announced that they had twins. No, that's the other guy. The other guy has twins.
The other guy has twins, and then he faints. And it's funny. They're like, he's relaxed now.
They're like, you fool.
But Reed wasn't able to be in the delivery room, which I guess was a thing back then. Because I've seen that depicted in a lot of different stories where the father waits in the waiting room and it's like, I'll wait to see a baby. But Crystal was in there.
Yeah. So well, her and the doctor became fast friends for some strange reason.
Well, Johnny better check that
shit. But you see Johnny smoking. Right there, right? Like he's sitting next to Reed. He's like smoking. There's like smoke coming off of him.
There's smoke coming off.
He's fucking pissed. He's like, "What the fuck is Crystal? She told me she was gonna meet me here." And she busts out with the cameras and the doctors, all to announce that he's having a boy. He's a father. But what's really interesting is right before then, when Reed is worried, I like that Ben, like propped him up. I was like, "Don't worry about it. Like it's taking long. It is what it is. We did the best we could. And it's gonna turn out okay."
He's a cut it out stretch. That kind of talk ain't gonna do nobody any good. Let's look at the bright side.
Plus, look at me.
Maybe she's having
myself. Let's get back on me.
Hey, what are you mad about? I tried to slit my wrist last night. And I made of fucking rocks, so I can't even die. He's not made of rocks. That's a skin condition. I
It is
know.
it is a skin condition.
I just thought it was funny that at the end, Crystal grows and they're all celebrating, and she hugs Johnny and she says, "Oh, Johnny, I'm so happy for her and for all of us. Why the fuck? Why? What
Is
did
it
you
not?
do?"
Is it not weird? Is it not weird that she's in like the group hug thing? Is that not a little weird? I feel like it's a little weird. I mean, it's like when you look at a like old like maybe high school or
The
even earlier
ex.
thing, and you see like yeah, you're like oh yeah, she was there, huh? I guess she was there. Um, but yeah, even like think about it. She says the baby's like gorgeous or whatever. Like it's an absolute darling is what she says, which means that she got to see it before any of them.
Your
He's
baby
like, by the
is
way,
really cute.
yeah,
Reed, you should see it.
motherfucker, I'm the one who brought that fucking cosmic rod.
Yeah,
Um,
he doesn't get a name though, like you mentioned. They just kind of come in and meet your new son.
also look at that. Look at when he says, "Coming to meet your new son." Look at that baby's face. That baby is stressed.
He's
He
like,
has cosmic. He has cosmic blood coursing through every part of his brain. His synapses are shooting off mini
there's a giant
galaxies.
purple man in my mind.
Yes.
Why? Why?
And he's already getting like bad vibes from Reed. He's already like, I don't know, man. I don't know what all this is. But
Sure,
no, you
guys
get a
gonna pay attention.
you get a beautiful moment here where they embrace the child, and it's just a lovely moment, a quiet moment, a happy moment with this team, with this family. But I really got the vibe because this story's already come out that in first steps, Sue is going to be pregnant. Vanessa Kirby's pregnant in real life, and that Galactus wants Franklin Richards in exchange for their Earth to be, you know, instead of their Earth being devoured, he has to give up his literally freshly born son. So they're talking about this being primarily a Sue story. Obviously, the other people will be there and they'll be important, but this story here really gave me that sense of urgency of like we need to get this baby alive. It really did a good job of showing the stakes that were at hand, having a ticking clock in the background, and then watching these oddballs because that's what they are. I mean, I know that they're family. I know that one of them is a scientist, but these three helpless men, right? Three fucking meatheads, besides the one genius in there, going and getting
He's a
this
meathead
solved.
too.
You get what I mean, right? Like, so
Yeah.
those three guys go, the Three Stooges go and get a job done, and Sue was able to deliver this gorgeous baby. Was there anything that surprised you with a reread of this?
No, I think it went pretty much how I thought it went. It was a fun like. I was more surprised at how talkative Annihilus was. Like he's
Yes.
so corny.
Yeah, because in all my things,
He's
he's like almost.
Yeah, it's disgusting. It's great, but yeah, no, I love this. I love this little issue here. I love I because I own it graded. I can't read it, which
Yeah.
normally I'd be like, then why did you buy it?
All right.
But I like to own important moments in Marvel history. But so I read it. This is the second time I read it, and for some reason, the thing that surprised me the most is that I don't really remember anything from the first time I read it. I'm not sure
Interesting.
why. It went in went in one ear and out the other.
Right.
I might don't smoke marijuana, folks.
It happens. It happens. Does that intrigue you at all? The idea that the cinematic Galactus wants Franklin?
No, I'm more glad that they established the Franklin Galactus connection off the back. Like there's many different instances of Franklin Richards and Galactus crossing over. He even becomes Galactus in
Yeah.
Earth X, right? Like so I want to say that this comes from somewhere though. I don't know why I vaguely remember Galactus being interested in the baby at another point. I'm fairly certain that there's another point in Marvel history where Galactus is interested in Franklin Richards because of his power. Um,
Mm.
but I do know that after the onslaught stuff, after Franklin hides away the heroes of Earth to help them reboot, help the Image guys try to come over and revamp Marvel for them, but it doesn't work. Uh, Franklin's powers get suppressed, and then when they get reawoken in the Jonathan Hickman run, Galactus immediately knows, and he comes to Reed Richards immediately. Like, we have to talk about your son. And I was like, it's that serious. So I like that they're just establishing it in the MCU off the bat because you can always visit other Franklin Galactus stories that are bigger and can do things that let this Fantastic Four stand on their own because all this stuff right now is building towards Secret War, Doomsday.
Yeah. There's also this idea, I guess, in when you get to like the vagueness of some of what they represent. Galactus is a bit more like consumption and entropy, things dying, things being taken from the universe, and Franklin is like known for creation, right? Like he's known for making and possibility and I wouldn't say chaos, but what does that mean? Like just like
Oh,
life,
it's.
spontaneity, possibility.
I was gonna say I found it. I know what it is. It's the Galactus had wanted Franklin's powers to recreate his previous universe. He's
that
like
makes
he wanted to
sense.
go back. Yeah, it doesn't happen, but that's what he wanted. I don't think that's. I mean, who shit? Who knows? Maybe they'll get remixed that here. Like Galactus wants the baby to help prevent the end of the multiverse type
Mm,
thing.
and I could also see Galactus serving as some kind of humongous intergalactic on your left moment, with like serving Franklin at some point in this big
Ah, could you
fucking
imagine?
war
You
situation.
imagine? To me, my Galactus,
In this big ass
I will
fucking
shit, I will shit myself in the theater.
You
Like
hear that,
I
Kevin
will.
Feige? That's bigger than chicken jockey. All right.
Big, I get it. I can't even imagine a world where To Me My Galactus ends up on screen because I don't think there's no way to make it significant enough. Like to
Yeah.
make I don't know. Maybe now you introduce people to the concept of Galactus and the Silver Surfer, then maybe they'll get the pop of hearing that used on Galactus. Like who the fuck could ever be so powerful that they can call upon Galactus like a herald? Like
Yeah. I will also say that there weren't really many clues right before that happened. Like it was it
no, there
wasn't
was
it,
no
it
build
wasn't
to
like they
that.
were pointing to it the entire time, whereas this would be like a breadcrumb trail. That's why that
Yeah,
gravitas that you're talking about, it may be impossible in comics because you would
yeah,
have to set up so many obvious triggers that it could happen.
yeah,
Whereas this was literally out of nowhere. People were like, what? He
yeah.
called what? Uh Fantastic stuff. All pun intended. Say it again. Um as we wrap this up, what are your thoughts in general? I mean, we're just a handful of hours away from us watching this film. Does this
Yes.
does this have as big of a stakes as Superman? We spoke about that
Scary.
early on, and
I
what's your level of trepidation with this? Because I think he's spoken a couple times on this podcast about being a bit weary about where all this can go, given
yeah.
how much it means to you. Sometimes when it comes to these characters, we just need the simple parts done right. But the Fantastic Four can be quite complicated. So what is your mindset, your attitude going into this? Another swing of the bat when it comes to the Fantastic Four in cinema.
I just get worried that they're gonna grab like the surface level idea of them, rather than the deep, rich character dynamics that they share in the comics. That almost, I mean, I'd argue the 2005 version really brought that across. I think the 2005 movie got the dynamic of the family across really well. Like I
Yeah,
thought, if you want to know like what the Fantastic Four is, like that wouldn't be a bad movie to watch and be like, hey, that's that. I mean, that's pretty much what they are. Like if you read a book after that, you'd be like, oh, I'm familiar with these characters.
yeah.
But again, it didn't have enough oomph. It was kind of cheesy, and superheroes were still a little embarrassing back then. So I'm glad to see them treated with more respect now. But again, it's building towards this story. Secret Wars, Fantastic Four, Avengers, New Avengers, that Jonathan Hickman magnum opus era of Marvel, those books are so important to me. They're so important to my enjoyment of comics. So knowing that they're even coming close to riffing off these is like, oh, I'm so worried.
They're very
Uh
big boy toys that may need to be put
yeah,
on the shelf
yeah.
if you don't know how to play with them.
Yeah, and I don't think that they do. I just don't think there's no time. There's no time. It's
Fair.
not like this is Fantastic Four 3 and
And
relating to the fucking thing.
and you're not. This is not undeserved panic. You've seen them take other books off the shelves before and attempt to tackle them. Massive stories like Secret Invasion were kind of limited
Look
down to a handful of episodes that no one remembers now.
Look at Dark Phoenix. Like,
I always point to Dark Phoenix, man. I always point because like hubris of trying to do it as many times as they did without any of the
yeah,
background, any of the
yeah,
patience, or any of that stuff. My biggest fear for Fantastic Four is that it needs to be more of a MCU movie than a Fantastic Four movie.
yeah. I think I thought that they had a easy enough time with this because they placed it in another universe. You can tell its own story
Hmm.
and then tail end some MCU stuff like at the back end. Like, okay, and then this all leads to that.
Yeah.
I didn't think you had to get so caught up in the weeds of the TVA or this or that. It just kind of is, and then at the end you can start dropping in all the extra stuff. Because honestly, it's gonna lead to Avengers Doomsday anyway. That's technically the sequel to this movie. So by that point, fine.
And I mean, even now, because of everything that's happened, like, it sound controversial for like us talking great about Marvel, but like unless something fucking monumentous happens, Secret Wars feels undeserved.
Yeah,
Like I'm
yeah.
not what universe am I mourning? You didn't give me time with any of the new people post Endgame to like really care about. Like you introduced me to a shit
I
ton of people, like a one time introductions. Here's Shang Chi. Here's fucking Namor. Here's whatever. And now you're just gonna be like, yeah, we're this is gonna be a big ass fight, and I want you to care about all these people. And it's like you
I
you
think
you
there's
microwaved this, whereas the Endgame stuff was like took time to bake, took time to cook.
there's a way to use Doomsday to kind of bring the television and the Phase 5 stuff to a place where it's like it feels like it's all, like it all led to this. You can make it worth it. I think we just there's a way to pivot and make all these things tie together at the end before you go to Secret Wars that may make this worthwhile. Like
That would
there's
have to happen
still
in
time.
Doomsday, right?
Yeah. Like you still have Doomsday. If you can get that, we might be okay.
If this
But
be Doomsday indeed. If
if this
this
be
be Doomsday.
I I'm excited, man. I am excited for Fantastic Four. It's still Fantastic Four. It from all the reviews I've read, spoiler free, it's done it did a great job in being its own story. So I
Yeah.
mean, I'm looking forward to seeing what they have. And this is not the last time. Like this is the beginning of the Fantastic Four in the MCU. There's still many different places they can go, and Franklin is a baby, and like there's many things we can do. So I'm excited.
Do you
Yeah,
think this is the de facto team?
yeah,
Like where because
yeah. I
there
think
was talks about rebooting certain X-Men, talks about rebooting, you
I
know.
don't think it. I don't think we. I think if something happened to one of these people where they decided like I don't want to do this anymore, then now would be the time. Like
Yeah.
you can get off the train right now if you
Yeah.
want. But no, I don't expect that. The newer introductions are going to go anywhere. I think all of the new people that came in that aren't uh the I guess big time celebrities that asked for a role and got some fucking cameo in a post credit scene that's never going to get revisited. Like
Hmm.
as long as it's not them, I think we're going to I think Shang-Chi and Miss Marvel and the younger heroes aren't going to be touched. I do think the older ones, maybe even Doctor Strange, I don't
And you
know,
got Moon
Benedict
Knight hanging
Cumberbatch.
out somewhere doing something, kind of shit. Like
I
uh,
I
I
don't
don't know.
like I don't like that okay, like I get Kevin Feige did this big interview with the press on Friday, and we
Hmm.
weren't invited.
No,
So
but I
we heard about
asked.
it on Sunday,
Yeah.
unfortunately. And he basically admitted that they went quality over quantity for a while, and they're gonna pull back on their output, and so they also want to lessen the connections between television and movies. And I was like,
Ooh.
that if they pull back too far might bring us to fucking the days of Agents of Shield and the Netflix movies being completely
I mean, you've seen me have this
separate.
argument on Comic Book Click, right? Like you've seen people come at me for saying that I want the things to be more connected in the DCU,
Yeah,
and I was told that like the fan base left because it was too much homework, and I don't disagree with the idea that they felt like it needed to be they needed to see everything, but I don't think Marvel set that up well.
yeah,
You
yeah.
understand? The
There's
TV shows that
also
they're talking about, real quick, the TV shows that they're talking about that became too much homework ultimately end up being elongated movies. Like singular movies that were never supposed to go past their singular season to get a character from point A to point B. You know, in the Arrowverse or what's going on with Peacemaker and stuff like that, these characters will have their own agency and then have references to the overall scheme. They're not cogs meant to move. You know what I'm saying? Like that the only purpose is to move things somewhere else. Get, past the ball, to the next person who's then going to pass it over. I almost think that some of it's disingenuous to call the other ones like shows. They're more like miniseries or whatever. I don't know what you call them. They almost feel like one shots or something like that.
yeah.
I don't feel like it has the same because they're like, oh, people intermix between that. People didn't want to see Falcon and Winter Soldier and shit like that. I'm like, where you put things is up to you. Where you introduce characters and all that stuff, that's up to you. But you can do this in a way. I just don't want to live in a world where events are happening and no one's talking about it. That's where we were living a couple years ago before fucking they started talking about Tiamat in Captain America. And even then, I have, the example that I used was that they had said that in Daredevil, then no one's gonna reference the Void or whatever in Daredevil. That was like the big thing that came out. In Daredevil season 2. And I'm like, okay, but it's like years ago we were told that there was dragon bones in New York City under
Yeah.
under the thing, and Spider-Man had no idea what was going on then, which doesn't make any sense to me. Hawkeye was hanging out in New York at one point, right? And Kingpin, they kind of like rub shoulders, but I'm kind of sick of the days where the shows like the movies and the movies kind of like the shows. And that I don't want to get big leagued again, and like inherently had a reaction to the idea that we're gonna stop the interconnectivity because it's too much homework. Because I never felt that with the Arrowverse. The Arrowverse didn't make me feel burdened; it made me feel FOMO, and I think that that's what comic books have done. Comic books sometimes when the story sucks and you have 18 tie-ins that you gotta read to continue through the slog, that could be a burden. But my initial excitement to comics, the reason why I went down so many rabbit holes was excitement, not burden. Was like, oh, I want to know. Why don't I know more about this character? Why don't I know more about this team? Why don't I know more about this arc? Are we just cut differently because we were trained that way with comics?
Yeah, there's a part of that. But I think it's kind of the way James Gunn did Superman, where these characters just dropped in, and we're like, oh yeah, shit, they are who they are. They are who he said they are. Like we didn't
Yeah.
I didn't feel like I had to watch Mister Terrific the series.
Right. Right. Yeah.
That's how I treat all the characters that show up in stories. I feel like they don't utilize that enough in Marvel. They think they need to over explain too much.
Yeah.
And they ended up making that Thunderbolts movie feel like it was like he said, they didn't do enough to make people feel like it was separate from the television. Like it of course you also filled the group with pretty much only narratives that come from pandemic era streaming content.
Yeah.
So like that was probably a mistake.
Yeah.
There was no big movie person there that separated everything. Bucky's probably the biggest one, and you would feel like, oh shit, but I didn't watch that 8 episode series. That this movie might actually have been the one that gave people like, oh,
It
what about
felt.
this guy? Oh, he's from there too.
I just got the feeling that like it is the day before the big project needs to be handed in, and we've not tied up all the strings.
Yeah.
Like I feel like Doomsday and Secret Wars are the big project. There's nothing in between. This Fantastic Four movie will do a lot to set up Doomsday. Doomsday will do a lot to set up fucking Secret Wars, but there's not much in between there to get people there. Meanwhile, we just introduced the Marvel Cinematic Devil. Like that just happened like a couple weeks ago. So it's like it feels
I
weird
didn't
to start new adventures when my perception of this is it's a etch a sketch. They're about to shake this son of a bitch, and what we get on the other side of it is not going to look the same.
I didn't like the implication that a lot of the post credit stingers and a lot of the big name cameos like Clea and Hercules and Star Fox were just because a fucking celebrity was like
Felt
this
like being
MCU thing.
being in it.
Yeah, like everything post Endgame, like all these celebrities were like, "I want to be in the MCU," and Kevin Feige's like, "Yeah, we'll figure that out." And so now he's like, "Oh, yeah, I don't know if I'm bringing back any of them."
in
Like, oh
in
shit,
in their infancy, that was a cool prospect when someone would express interest of being in it because it was like niche. Now it's the equivalent of saying I would like a job. Like, you know what
yeah,
I'm saying? Like,
yeah.
I would like a. Oh, would you ever be in the MCU? Yeah, sure.
That
Like,
Ted Lasso guy came up to us and he said he was going to do something, and now he got Ted Lasso. We'll never see him again.
look at Catherine Hahn. Catherine Hahn is chilling, bro. She don't got to put on no cape. She puts on a little shawl sometimes. Sings a couple songs. She's fucking chilling.
Killing. I actually fucking hate. I still like I liked Agatha all along.
Mhm.
I still don't live in a world where I think it was necessary. I was
Same.
like, we gave a fucking TV show to Agatha Harkness.
Yeah.
We could have gave a TV show to Doctor Doom. We could have given a TV show to fucking anybody like this. You use the TV shows to build motherfucking D and F tier characters. You maniac. You fucking moron.
Yeah.
You know how? Do you know how easy it would have been to just A tier the fuck out of those TV shows? They would have never felt like homework. God, I loved the Doctor Doom 6 episode miniseries. Did you see how the Fantastic Four showed up at the end?
Would
That
anyone
was
call? I don't
crazy.
think any modern fan would call Loki homework.
No. As a matter of fact, Loki and WandaVision are the ones. As a matter of fact, even Feige would present those as the ones that he almost would have done anyway. Like,
Yeah.
like these are my masterpieces. Everything else we had to split away from a movie we were already working on.
Yeah. And like I said, I just feel like this movie has stuff to do, but I hope it maintains its focus, and I hope its focus maintains to be on the Fantastic Four. I'm so glad that we have this new Superman for a new generation. The Fantastic Four deserves that spotlight. I think when those characters are done well, they are some of the best characters in comics. And like I said, a bit of that was distilled in the stories that we talked about. Even in the very small one shot annual, a lot of that was right there. And it's undeniable they have been done a tragedy for so long. We just kind of have to nail it. Kind of have to. You understand? And I'm hoping that there's more room to give us more of the other stuff that we want. But we won't know until this time next week when we record our Fantastic Four First Steps recap and review for that film. Um, Again, a lot is out right now. A lot of people's trying to make up their mind about it. I'm gonna be there opening night. I'm sure you will too. It's just what we do. It's just a
Yes.
ritual around here. And again, I go there knowing the stories. And I'm going there listening to a storyteller try to tell their version of stories I already know. So long as some of the boxes in my mind get checked and they seem right, tones and stuff like that, I'm ready to listen to any story. I don't go in with my arms crossed unless you're Let There Be Carnage. God.
The movie,
But
movie was actually announced 3 years ago today. Uh, I'm scrolling through my memories. It was at
I mean,
Comic
look at
Con
that Matt
2022.
Shackman logo, bro. That Matt Shackman
Yeah,
logo that
that
went
four.
around. Yeah, the like more cosmic or more futuristic stuff, and then they went right into the retro, and I think that's exactly what they needed.
He
You
was
said it
like,
with the
"I'm
Superman
tired.
thing, yeah.
Never mind."
I saw it with the Superman stuff. Retro classic is needed because we're going to more classic and retro values, or at least a little bit more when things were a little bit more black and white. So super stoked about that. Anything else you want to say before I start closing shop here about Fantastic Four First Steps or the comics that we talked?
No, I love reading the Silver Age stuff as an adult. Like it's really interesting seeing all the influence, all the inspiration, where it comes from. I love that foundational shit. Um, and again, coming into Fantastic Four, it is this is perfect to read because specifically the obviously the Galactus stuff, but I didn't realize how much of the annual would be going into this movie too, like just the overall tone and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I had fun. I
Yeah.
can't wait to talk about the movie
Yes.
next week.
That'll be killer. And also, like with the thing that you said about picking up these issues and reading Golden Age stuff, we have hundreds and hundreds of episodes of us talking about writers who have redefined characters. And I know this may sound kind of crazy, but some of you just need to look at who defined them in the first place. Because again, I think you can hold this stuff up rightfully so, alongside the Hickman stuff, right? Because these are the building blocks that end up building for another creator to then take over and use these things and take them to the eventualities they should be as characters evolve over decades. But they don't start that way without a blueprint. Without these two people, Stan Lee, Jack Kirby, sitting down and hammering out stories like this, when at the time there were no stories like this. Like you were saying before, this made you seem kind of cute and kind of quaint, but this was as cosmic got back then. Now, we have reality warpers like, a dime a dozen. But at the time here, all of this was way more bigger than anything that they had experienced at the time. So take all of that into consideration when you read some of these stories here. Even when they feel kind of old hat or exposition heavy, they were the beginnings. If they weren't around, we wouldn't have some of the stuff that we have now. And if the Fantastic Four weren't around or they were not a success, we wouldn't have Marvel as we know it. So it's time Marvel did them right after they've done Marvel right all this time, and we'll see next week when we see Fantastic Four first steps. But I think we've done some other Fantastic Four content in the past, especially even covering the 1994 unreleased Fantastic Four film. And if you want to check that stuff out, you can go to comicbookclique.com. It's the one stop for every single episode of the Major Issues podcast. We're on episode 392 now, which means we're only a couple weeks away from episode 400 of the Major Issues podcast. This thing started in 2017, which means we have podcasts for every single theatrical release of a comic book film except for Crow, which don't blame me for that. But every single one that has come out in damn near the decade, we've sat here, we've done retro reviews, we've done reviews about unreleased comics. Go check out our Twilight of Superheroes episode there. But yeah, whether it's released, unreleased, the hottest thing, or just what everyone's talking about, we like to talk about the latest and greatest things to come to comic books and comic book media here. Yeah, Comic Book Clique is where you'll find comicbookclique.com is where you find all of our stuff. Our merchandise exists there. Every episode of the Major Issues podcast, articles written by me, and all that stuff there. It's a fantastic spot to go. But we also have a habitat in places like YouTube, youtube.com/comicbookclique. We're at facebook.com/comicbookclique, Instagram at comicbookclique. You can use that hashtag comicbookclique to talk about the newest, hottest, latest, and greatest things that come to comic books and comic book media. We're at Major Issues CBC on Twitter, and also at Major Issues CBC on Twitch. I think we just hit the 2-year anniversary of Twitter being X, and I'm still calling it Twitter, and I still will call it Twitter. So that is there. Yeah, next week we'll be tackling the movie. The excellent thing is, let's say you have a mind like Galactus and you just want to devour everything, and you go to comicbookclique.com, you devour every single episode of the podcast, every article that we publish out there. You take all that energy in and you're still full. Well, guess what? We share comicbookclique.com with the brilliant folks over at Dirt Sheet Radio, the industry leaders in all things professional wrestling and pop culture.
That's us.
Yeah, those guys are working tirelessly to cover professional wrestling, do post shows while also covering things in the pop culture sphere, especially things in the geek and gamer sphere. Spinning many plates, but doing an excellent job. And this has been a tremendous summer with things like All In, WrestleMania. I'm sorry, WrestleMania, All In, SummerSlam, and what was the other one we just?
There was there was All In, there was the Evolution show with all the women.
Slammiversary, Evolution.
Slammiversary.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
interesting.
Slammiversary, Evolution, AAA shows,
CMLL.
DMLL shows. Yes. So literally everyone is firing on all cylinders in the world of professional wrestling, and when they have time, they still come over, tackle some stuff with us over here at Comic Book Clique and over on their page. So there's always a link in the show notes, a link tree to all the ways you can find Dirt Sheet Radio. But if you find yourself on comicbookclique.com, just look over. And those guys are hanging out there. They're part of the Comic Book Clique family. Love what they're doing over there, and watching them grow every day. Really, really cool stuff. Plus, I'm a professional wrestling fan, so I have my own motives. But anything else you want to plug for the people?
No, man, just definitely check out Dirt Sheet Radio. Join us on the interwebs, on the social medias. Search Dirt Sheet Radio on Google. We're gonna pop up. Find your favorite social media outlet and then follow us there because we're dropping the news. And who knows? We might get to talk to each other.
Yes,
but,
yes. Again, I've seen our audiences cross pollinate. It's a terrific thing when professional wrestling and comic books can come together as one. And it's always a terrific thing when we can get you in the studio to chop it up about some comics, especially some classic ones. So this has been a hell of a blast. I believe, oh, but last but not least, if you can help us out, you can help us out many ways. If it's money related, go to comicbookclique.com, go to our merch store. Where we just put out a Hope is the Real Punk Rock t-shirt in I was gonna say in memory, it makes it seem like he died, in honor of the Superman film, and we'll be doing some Fantastic Four merch coming soon. So go ahead and check out all that stuff there, and we get a kickback of everything that you guys purchase. So not only do you own an original piece of artwork, but we get some money to help keep our lights on here and to afford the hardware and the software we need to keep providing you guys content free of charge. If you don't want to buy merch, but you still want to give us money, consider becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/CBC Clubhouse. For as little as 10 cents a day, $3 a month, you can help us, again, keep this thing a well-oiled machine. If you have no money, I get that. Times is hard. Consider rating and reviewing us on iTunes. It's the quickest way for us to grow as podcasters and find out what you like and what you don't. I think that we got some really, really big waves coming with Superman. We're still talking about that. Fantastic Four is around the corner. Stuff is wrapping up in the Ultimate Universe. Stuff is ramping up in the Absolute Universe. We still have a bunch of comics, a bunch of movies, a bunch of TV shows to break down for you guys. So make sure you get on the bandwagon before the bandwagon. Folks, I've been to the future where Dirt Sheet Radio and Comic Book Clique become the industry leaders in the various respected fields that they are in. But I can't tell you how we do it because it'll mess up the timeline. And next thing you know, Dwayne The Rock Johnson wants to do an A24 version of Fantastic Four where he plays all the characters. And I don't think that's going to help anybody. So consider getting on the bandwagon. Don't make me mess up the timeline. Tell a friend to tell a friend. Let's make this the latest and greatest thing to come to comic books and comic book media, as we are trying to do. And see us next week for our recap and review of Fantastic Four First Steps. But there's nothing else left for me to say. But my name is George Serrano, aka The Don.
And my name is John Escudero, aka Yogi.
And this has been our Coming of Galactus recap and review. And remember, whether you were hit by cosmic waves that turned you into a human torch, Mr. Fantastic, got a little bit of invisible, or just poor, blue-eyed Ben Grimm, remember, we're also a family. Remember that if we are a family, that you are part of the clique. But the last thing you always have to remember is that you, yes, you, are worthy.